presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
Near Lane Stadium, Clemson taking on Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Clemson Tigers open as a 7.5-point favorite. Dabo Swinney and his Tigers are 4-0 versus the Hokies. 7th-time game day has been in Blacksburg. Hokies are 4-1 when they show up.
Our game at the bottom of the hour, NC State hosting Syracuse.
I'm looking to see how will the Wolfpack respond under their first signature win with Dave Dorn. Eric Dungey, Steve Ishmael ready to bring explosive fireworks for Syracuse. This should be a game of points.
It should be a game of points. We're going to bring the points here on our show. Welcome into the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks. I'm Katie Witham alongside the former linebacker Stan Norfleet and the former head coach Tommy Bowden. And guys, got to start talking about our game. NC State hosting Syracuse. Coach, why is this one worth watching?
Well, I think because the offensive firepower from both quarterbacks. Ryan Finley for NC State throwing for 74%, nationally ranked. Jalen Samuels, Naheem Hines, offensive firepower, and then you got Eric Dungey and Steve Ishmael on the other side.
For me, it's about the direction of the program that is Syracuse. They got a signature win a year ago versus the Virginia Tech Hokies. Now it's time to take this show on the road. Go into Carter-Finley and get a really good Wolfpack team coming off of beating Florida State. I think it could take that program to the next level.
So many great games in action today. In fact, we've got 7 games in action in the ACC as we take a look at the schedule and what's on tap today.
For me, it's a whiteout at Bobby Dodd Stadium. I like that. A lot of energy in Atlanta. Jackets have been there all year. It's an absolute disaster, a natural disaster of its own in the UNC locker room. 13 players done for the season, including 7 starters.
Oh, we got Wake Forest and Clemson right now. John Walford needs to play well against the Seminoles. Seminoles, it's not the quarterback, James Blackman. Those 11 penalties you have last week needs to be solved.
Yeah, Wake Forest taking on Florida State at 3:30. Big guy that's been stepping up in big ways. Bradley Chubb, we're going to get to see him at the bottom of the hour. He had a big game last week against Florida State. What's gone wrong in Tallahassee? We're talking about it next. The ACC Blitz is powered by Ram Trucks. Let's take a look, though, on the other side of things in the Atlantic Division. And I think the biggest surprise for all of us, guys, is where Florida State
You're telling me.
In the
2 years in a row they did it to me.
And they're the only ACC team without a win at all this season. It's easy enough to just say, hey, they lost their quarterback, so it's an uphill battle. But, Coach, there are other issues that they've got to fix moving forward.
James Blackman played good enough to win last week. 22 of 38, 278 yards. No interceptions, only the 1 fumble. The 11 penalties, to me, is what gets them in trouble. They had 11 penalties, 93 yards, a lack of attention, a lack of focus. It puts you behind the chains so many times, makes play calling difficult. And then help the young freshman quarterback. Run the ball. You got the best running back in the country in Cam Akers. You signed him last year. So Stan right now running the football, they've got to find some way to generate some movement with the offensive line.
Yeah, but it's non-existent and nobody can tell me why. When I look at the tape and I talk to people in and around the program, former players that have played there, we don't understand. Clearly they got talent. So either Jimbo or Coach Rickett down there, y'all been together for 11 years. Clearly you have enough experience to be able to figure this out. The only things I can come up with is it's either philosophical, where it's just pass happy and guys aren't aggressive enough in the hand-to-hand combat at the point of attack, or quite frankly, he just doesn't have enough dogs from a mental perspective to be able to go out there and execute that. They got to get it fixed.
Yeah, and for Wake Forest to have a chance, I think John Walford, we mentioned him earlier, has got to play really well. Right now, he leads the team in rushing 269 yards. He's got 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. His passing efficiency is good. He's 3rd in the ACC in passing efficiency, but he's not ranked in the top 10 in yardage, so they're not getting a lot of big plays, a lot of downfield throws. John Walford needs to play well, and for him to be effective, notice he leads the team in rushing. He's going to have to do both with his feet and his arm to move it against Florida State.
He's been backed up by a very good Wake defense, only allowing 3.3 yards per carry and 1 rushing touchdown. This could be a tough day for Florida State.
All right, well, this one kicking off later this afternoon, 3:30 in Winston-Salem. Our game at the bottom of the hour in Carter-Finley Stadium. NC State taking on Syracuse. We're going to talk about it coming up next. But let's talk about our game, shall we? At the bottom of the hour, we have NC State taking on Syracuse. And, Coach, when we talk Dino Babers and everything we see from the Orange, it's easy to lean on that offense because they're flashy, they're fun to watch. But how improved is Dino Babers' defense?
I tell you, that's the thing that has surprised me. When you go back and kind of peel back the layers on what makes both these teams, the Syracuse defense is really better than what you think. Brian Ward, the new defensive coordinator at Syracuse, who Dino Babers brought from Bowling Green, has really done an exceptional job. They're a lot better than they were last year, and they give Eric Dungey some of that offensive skill more firepower. So right now, the Syracuse defense is playing really on par with the NC State defense, who preseason everybody thought was going to be a lot better.
And I have to jump in real quick, Stan, because, Coach, yesterday you talked to me a little bit about how to find a good defensive coordinator and what a coach does when you're looking for one, because defense wins championships.
Yeah, I've hired several. When I used to go to the NCAA stats, and I start going down, and the first thing I start with is scoring defense. Do they have a track record, and how well they do versus Power 5 competition, and then rushing defense and on down the line, third down conversion defense. But I think Dino Babers probably did this with his, because Brian Ward has done a really good job at Syracuse.
Took a play out of your book on that one. What are you looking for in this game?
Former defensive guy told me once, Stan, you might know him, named Algro. Algro used to teach us, listen, guys, for us to go on the road, especially, and get something like this done, is quite simple. Our defense has got to match their defense, and our quarterback play must match their quarterback play. Ryan Finley is the better quarterback, but I remember a year ago, he didn't play in this game up at the Carrier Dome.
Good point.
Only lost by 15 points, the accused. Eric Dungey comes into this game with a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. He's not bad. He's got the best receiver, perhaps, in all of college football in Ishmael. This could get interesting if he can match Ryan Finley's production.
Bradley Chubb has been huge for NC State.
Dino Babers says he's the best edge player in the country.
So if you're Dino Babers, how do you minimize this guy?
Listen, you got to get that ball in the hands of your playmakers quick, dink, dunk, get the ball out and roll. Can't take a lot of time here.
All right, we will be back with you at halftime. For now, they are out of the tunnel, so we're sending you to Carter-Finley Stadium, NC State, taking on Syracuse. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, and DJ Shockley on the call. Tom, take it away.
Thanks, Katie. Beautiful afternoon for Military Appreciation Day at Carter-Finley Stadium. The Wolfpack coming off a big upset of Florida State as the Syracuse Orange come to Raleigh behind their big play quarterback, Eric Dungey. The ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. It's the Syracuse Orange, the NC State Wolfpack. The Pack has won the last 3 meetings in this overall series. So great to have you with us for our game this afternoon. Tom Wormy along with Dave Archer. DJ Shockley will join us from the sidelines in just a moment. Well, Dave, we've got playmakers all over the field in this game. Top of the list has got to be Jalen Samuels. 38 career TDs for this player for NC State.
Going to need GPS to find Jalen Samuels. He'll line up all over the field. 164 career receptions for Jalen Samuels. He puts the ball in the end zone that way. He also has become the state's leading rusher along the ground on the goal line. 4 touchdowns there, but really what this guy does is he just scores touchdowns. 20 on the ground and 18 through the air. Now the Orange don't take a back seat. Steve Ishmael is surfaced as one of the best receivers in the country. He leads the country in receptions per game at just over 11, and he's coming in, Tom, with 4 consecutive 100-yard games on the year.
Now, Dave, I know you love the guys who will throw the football to those players. The gunslingers, Dave likes to call them. Ryan Finley for NC State, Eric Dungey for the Orange, and he can throw it but also run, Dave.
Poised veterans, both these quarterbacks, and both of them changed their bodies in the offseason, added some weight to be able to take some of the punishment. Dungey, the leading rusher for the Orange, he'll affect the game that way as well as throwing the ball. And Finley, he's a surgeon. He throws the ball all over the field with tremendous accuracy, almost 75% completion, and he doesn't throw it to the other team. No interceptions on the year. Shock, we've talked all sorts of offense up here, but what I understand, maybe the best player in the field's on defense.
Yeah, offense will be at a premium for sure, but one guy who has something to say about that is All-American defensive end Bradley Chubb. He's coming off a huge game last week versus Florida State, and he looks to be disruptive in this game as well. Find him all over the place. He's a versatile guy, left end, right end. He'll be all over the place. Expect him to be one of the huge factors in this ball game. Most defensive ends are not as disruptive, but he will be today and have his eyes squarely on quarterback Eric Dungey for Syracuse.
Well, Shock, he is a first-day selection in next year's draft for someone, but he's not the only guy in the front 7 for North Carolina State. One of the best in the country, no question.
Nyheim Hines will be the return man for the opening kickoff. Syracuse won the toss, elected to defer. 73 degrees as we kick it off in Raleigh. Syracuse and NC State from Carter-Finley Stadium. That'll go out of bounds and be a penalty against the Orange on that opening kickoff. All right, here are the Food Line Impact players. And they're brought to you by Food Line, and we start with NC State.
Kelvin Harmon, big play receiver on the outside. He's a sophomore, can really run and go get it for his quarterback. And Naheem Hines, you talk about the speed track guy. He's going to line up at that tailback spot, and they say, Tom, he runs angry. Talked about the percentage of what Ryan Finley brings to the table. A lot of interesting stories. We'll get into those throughout the game with Ryan Finley, but his completion percentage off the charts. That's 5th in the country, 74.2%.
Keep in mind, Finley has thrown 224 passes without an interception. That is the most in the Football Bowl subdivision as he operates from the shotgun on first down for the Pack. Sends it down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete near the 45-yard line. Looking for Jalen Samuels on that first passing attempt. Zaire Franklin was there for the Orange.
Well, and good early pressure. This is something Syracuse is going to need to get some pressure on Finley. And the ball just a tad behind as he's looking down the pipe for his big-time receiver.
Brandon Berry steps up into the starting lineup. Number 97, Kendall Coleman, with a personal issue and not with the team this afternoon for the Orange. NC State is 3-1 on the season, 1-0 in conference play, coming off with a win against the Noles. This is Samuels with the rush. Up past the 45-yard line for Jalen Samuels. Might be good enough for a first down, and it is for the Pack.
Let's look at the Food Line Impact players defensively for Syracuse. 2 outstanding linebackers. These guys are run-and-hit players. Paris Bennett, 12 tackles against LSU last week. Zaire Franklin, he's a next-level player as well. He's a guy that will run the shot in the middle for the Orange defense.
Bennett, the top tackler for the Orange. Zaire Franklin, second best on the team in tackles for the senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And before this play gets rolling, whistles blow it dead. That's Gary Patterson, our referee for this afternoon's game.
Yeah, you were down talking to those guys pregame. I thought that was... They came right up to you, play-by-play guy. They knew you knew you were going to take care of them. Yeah, good group of officials today for the ACC.
I actually told Gary, I said, I hope we don't hear from you all that much today, and he completely agreed with me. So we'll see how the afternoon progresses. Finley tried to pitch it out. Hines had trouble handling it, and the ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, just an option play, fake to Samuels through the middle, and Hines must have taken his eyes off the ball because it looked like it was a decent pitch. Finley, just kind of a change-up on what they're going to do in their run game. They're not really interested in Finley running the ball, and after talking to him, so he's not really interested in running the ball himself. He likes to he wants to throw it.
He did make a very strong point about that. He'd rather throw it than run with it.
Yeah, he knows there's people out there hunting him, so he'd like to deliver. He's been outstanding throwing the ball this year, and really his leadership in the offseason really has gone to another level. His ability to, remember, he was the guy that came in from Boise State a year ago, got here in the middle of summer, really didn't have a chance to blend with his teammates, and he got one order from Dave Dorn in the offseason. I want you to improve your body weight, and I want you to go out and make friends with your teammates or get to know them, and he's done that, and they've elected him to their leadership council.
So it'll be 2nd and 17. The flag went against the Pack. Finley threw for 230 yards in the win against Florida State. Got rid of that one near midfield. Jacoby Myers made the catch. He got 10.
Well, Myers had a monster day last week against Florida State. 112 yards, caught the big touchdown that really kind of put NC State out in front of Florida State. Huge win for Dave Dorn and his team. They've been so close. A veteran team here at NC State. They've been very close. Had Clemson on the rocks last year. Wasn't able to get it done, and certainly against Florida State a couple times, but they finally got that win down in Tallahassee last weekend.
In contrast, NC State is 45% on third down. They are 4th best in the ACC in this situation, and they're going to pick this one up. Out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Jacoby Myers made the grab. They got 7, and the chains are moving for the Pack.
Yeah, just inside in the slot. It's man coverage. Myers is an option route. He decides to turn to the outside. Was able to outflank the defender and get to the sideline. Good, well-thrown ball by Finley. In these short throws, Finley's so accurate with the ball.
5 catches for 112 yards receiving against Florida State for Jacoby Myers. It included a 71-yard touchdown grab. Finley wants to go deep down the sideline looking for Myers, and he runs out of real estate there. Jordan Martin was number 2 back there for the Orange.
Yeah, an excellent coverage by Martin, forced Myers along the sideline. Really no place for Finley to put the ball. So excellent job by the Orange there defensively to limit the opportunity. Finley looks to the sideline. Eli Drinkowitz is upstairs, the offensive coordinator. He's looking to the sideline to see what Eli has relayed down to the sideline.
Coach Drinkowitz, a former offensive coordinator at Boise State, which is where Ryan Finley came from on the transfer. This is Samuels, left side. Syracuse able to stop that play. Austin Valdez, 2-yard gain.
Yeah, Paris Bennett was in on the play as well, number 30, and Bennett had a monster day last week against LSU. He had 12 tackles in the game, and he's one of these guys that is a football player. He's a guy that maybe doesn't necessarily fit into the particulars, the analytics as far as body size. About 6 feet, 215, 220 pounds. He's playing linebacker, and he can run and hit.
He is a senior from Detroit, Michigan. 3rd and 8 for NC State from the Syracuse 40-yard line. Finley out of a tight pocket right near the marker. Catch made, Kelvin Harmon.
Again, the accuracy, Tom, on the throw. Harmon, the big timer on the outside. Watch where the ball's thrown. Comes out of the break, ball right on his mask, so he can toe tap the sideline and stay in bounds. Just short of the first down, maybe, Tom? Or are they going to?
Those sticks have not moved, Dave, with that ball at the 32 1/3 yard line. It's the first time I've ever said that.
All right, well, the short yardage guy has become Jalen Samuels, and he'll be in the I formation right here. He's right back here. He's the guy that's become their short yardage back on the goal line and in these situations as well.
4 of 7 on 4th down this season. Samuels is going to get it down the sideline, out of bounds inside the 25. Paris Bennett forced him out. He picked up 9. It's a first down for NC State.
We talked to Dave Dorn about Jalen Samuels and his abilities and where do you put. He says, really, we don't want to limit him as just being a running back. That's why we move him all over the place. But he could probably be a featured back for any team in the country right now. But he's so valuable catching the ball, blocking, some of the things he takes defenders away from the play. He's been an outstanding player for NC State.
First down from the 24 of the Orange. NC State has scored points on its opening drives in each of its 4 games this season, as Hines takes it for a short gain, maybe 1. Looked like Caton Samuels, number 52, involved in the tackle of Hines.
Well, we talked to D coordinator Brian Ward for the Orange, and he said #1 priority, stop the run, and they did a good job there.
There is a Syracuse player shaken up. It's number 4, Zaire Franklin.
Leader of that defense. And you see Dino Babers walk out, Tom, to take a look.
See that body language, you can tell that, and certainly he would be concerned about any player, but Franklin is a senior leader for this defense and for this team as a whole.
31st start today in his career with Syracuse, Zaire Franklin.
So the Orange medical staff will attend to Zaire Franklin, and we'll take a break.
ACC football is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, Out of This World Pizza. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. And by Coke.
Back at Carter-Finley Stadium, Zaire Franklin was just taking the side and walked on his own power as we see the Dave Dorn and the Wolfpack march. Here he is right here. Zaire Franklin, the linebacker, and one of the best players in the conference, takes a shot right on the shoulder, right shoulder. Just kind of went to the ground. Now, he got off the field in under his own power, but they've taken him, Tom, directly to the locker room to take a look at something.
The 11th play of the drive for the Wolfpack. This is complete to Hines inside the 15 and tumbling down to the 13. Paris Bennett had to make the play. 10 yards and a first down.
Now, Hines came in with 10 receptions, little screen, 3-count screen, dump it out to your track guy. This guy can really move. Got some big players out in front, and Hines hits it up the field, pushes it inside the red zone, and a good opportunity here for NC State.
Now, Hines was on the ACC champion 4x100-meter relay team for NC State last year, and an all-conference selection in track and field. We go inside of 10 minutes in the first quarter. Finley hands it off. It is Hines. Roadblock at the 11-yard line. Maybe 2 for Hines on the carry.
Tom, think about that play call right there. Coach Drinkwitz realizes that Jalen Samuels has been the focus of the Syracuse practice this week, and you run him across in a little ghost play and fake it to him and then hand it to the guy behind. If you look at the red zone for NC State, 61% kind of middle of the road. They'd like to, you get down here, they want to finish with touchdowns, obviously, but easier said than done, and Syracuse has been pretty good down here.
11th in the conference rankings in red zone offense for the NC State Wolfpack. Finley hands it off to Hines. Plenty of white shirts there awaiting the arrival of Hines, and he loses one as we go down to DJ Shockley.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about Jalen Samuels. He's done a good job of getting the ball early in this ball game, but Art, you just mentioned it. 2 straight plays where they've used him as a decoy to get Hines the football, somebody else to take their eyes away from Jalen Samuels and make some plays. And you saw the previous play 2 plays ago was a big first down on the screenplay.
Well, you think about it, it's been pounded in your head as a defensive team. They find number 1.
5 receiver set, Dave, that includes Samuels. Yeah. On 3rd down. Need to get to the 3 for a first down. They're not going to get there. Myers made the catch, but Bennett was all over him and rode him out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Part of what Bennett brings to the table is he's an instinctual player, so he understands where the soft side of the defense. He's immediately got his head turned. He's going to try to get out in front of that out route, and he's right on top of it. You know, you can teach guys to play a position. You can't really teach them to play football. That guy's a football player. He just understands how the game unfolds.
Carson Wise, 3 of 5 on the season. That 31-yarder came in a win here at Carter-Finley Stadium against Marshall. This from 26 yards away for Carson Wise. And for the 5th straight game to start the season, NC State has scored points on its opening drive, but Syracuse able to turn away the Pack as far as a touchdown is concerned. Military Appreciation Day in Raleigh, and the Pack up by 3. Time for our Carolina 4 keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Well, for Syracuse, it's the orange rush, Tom, and that means play fast on offense, obviously get something out of it. But they also have to rush Finley, get some pressure on Finley. And for NC State, we talked to their coaches yesterday. Every one of them mentioned this is going to be a 4-quarter game. Because of Syracuse's offense, they're really never out of a game. So, like drives like we just saw, 15 plays, boy, you got to put touchdowns on the board and not have to settle for 3.
Sean Riley watches that one sail over his head into the end zone as we go back to Charlotte, and Katie with him.
Let's head to Bobby Dodd Stadium, where UNC is taking on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech have won 7 of the last 8, and look at Taquan Marshall. He does it himself. That is a 5-yard touchdown run. They are up 7-0. Now let's head to Pitt. Max Brown, he finds Jester Wea. What a catch. 55-yarder. Max Brown 6 for 6, 150 yards with 2 scores. It is now 21-0.
Katie, thank you. Pittsburgh trying to rebound after some early season losses. We saw that at Georgia Tech last week, where the Yellow Jackets came up with the victory at home. Dante Strickland, not a lot there for him. Our Food Line impact players for the Orange, Dave Archer.
Irvin Phillips, 2nd all-time in Syracuse history with 151 receptions. We have not seen him yet. I'm sure it's coming. And Jamar McGloster, he's the guy that's going to probably have to block Bradley Chubb all day. All-day job for him.
Dungy floats one up past midfield, and it is picked off by NC State. Jonathan Alston was back there, and he picks it off for the interception, his 2nd of the season.
Yeah, nice play by Alston. This is his 2nd interception of the year. Alston, a former wide receiver, played his first 3 years here at NC State as a wide receiver, sat out last year and learned the position, and now he's become that wide side corner, and he's a big corner at 6 feet, 210 pounds, elevates and takes it away. Great opportunity now for a short field in NC State's offense.
Eric Dungy with his 4th interception thrown. NC State, just those 2 turnovers, Dave, those came in the first game of the year against South Carolina.
And you'll ask a coach, what's the most important stat that you have? You give me one stat. I want to be plus on the turnover ratio. And NC State just 2 lost fumbles on the year. Done an outstanding job of taking it away.
First and 10 for the Pack from their own 43. Finley. Dave, that might have been one of those designed runs that he despises, but he took it anyway for a hard-earned gain there for the Pack.
Well, just the 13th time he's carried the football, and we talked to him yesterday, and he added some body weight. He gained about 10 or 12 pounds of that lean muscle mass. He's a guy that loves to eat the right way and all those type of things. But yeah, the run game, he said, you know what, I'd rather get to somebody else to run the ball.
6'4", 210, junior eligibility. He's a graduate student from Phoenix, Arizona. Put some touch on that one, and it is caught.
What a grab, Tom.
Jacoby Myers went up and took it away from the defender, Jonathan Thomas.
Watch him attack the football at the high point. Big time play by Jacoby Myers. When you have guys like this as a quarterback, you'll put it up to him anytime. He goes and gets the football. That ball was destined to be picked off by Jonathan Thomas, number 23 of Syracuse. But what a play by Myers.
16 yards on the play. The throw from Finley, the catch by Myers. Ball at the 37 of the Orange. This is Hines, room up the middle. Hines has enough for another first down. Jordan Martin made the tackle, but that was after an 11-yard game. Nyheim Hines. Let's check in with DJ.
He talked about the style of run he wants to run with. He says in his head he thinks he's Marshawn Lynch, but he also wants to run like Ward Dunn, being shifty. And then also he wants the speed of Chris Johnson. All three good backs, and I think he ran like all three of them.
He certainly runs with a lot of those different traits. You like that. You love that he aspires to be that kind of a combination back. That's big time. But remember for Syracuse now, Zaire Franklin left the game, the middle linebacker. Austin Valdez has stepped in there at the middle backer spot. So probably a lot less reps for him in that middle during the week to get ready for this game.
Hines, the leading rusher on the season for NC State, averaging 74 yards per game. This pass is incomplete. Kelvin Harmon was the intended target. Christopher Frederick defending for the Orange.
Yeah, excellent coverage by Frederick on the outside. Little stop route on the outside, and Frederick was right in his hip pocket. Really no place to throw. That's a tough matchup for Frederick against Harmon, one of their big-time speed guys on the outside. Frederick's got an interception on the year. This is his 11th start. Look at the play selection, nice balance. NC State noted for that, Tom, that every time we come in here, there's a real balance to what they want to do. And especially when you get it running, you can do a lot of stuff.
Finley has completed 7 of those passes. May have been some movement.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, Will Richardson on that right tackle spot. Missed the first couple games because he was suspended, but now back in the mix. Look at Dino Babers talking to his defensive coaches about trying to find a way to get a stop here.
Second year on the sidelines for Coach Babers. They went 4-8 last year and 2-6 in conference play. Lost at the Dome late in the season to NC State in their most recent meeting in this series. Pressure comes. Finley recognizes. Gives it off to Hines, who broke a tackle but couldn't get away at the 29-yard line.
Well, Tom, that's a big tackle because it's a tackle for loss, and now it shoves this kick back. They were hoping to get a little bit out of this. Here's the pressure on Finley. They turn loose the edge rusher coming off the edge for Syracuse, but excellent tackle in open space against Hines, the guy that can really run. There's Zaire Franklin, the middle backer, back out of a locker room. They checked him after he went down. But a good play there to force this. There's a long field goal.
This is a 48-yard field goal. Again, is long in an NC State uniform, 31 yards. He's a transfer from Carson Newman. Has hit from 49 yards away. This one is up, and this one is good for Carson Wise, 48 yards away. So he gets congratulations from his teammates. A 48-yarder. Wise is 2 for 2 on field goal attempts. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
I'm Joe Brennan, former corporal in the Marine Corps, and what better way to celebrate Military Appreciation Day than with Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits and our military men and women. It's Bo time!
Yeah, we certainly thank all of the members of our military, especially the ones who came here to Carter-Finley Stadium. It's bow time at Bojangles. Grab a big bow box. Feed the whole group with Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Bojangles and Dr. Pepper giving you a chance to win a VIP trip for two to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship. Enter at theacc.com/BowVIP. Try to win that prize and be on your way to Charlotte, North Carolina, December 2nd for the ACC Championship. 7th time in Charlotte. 13th overall championship game of the ACC. As we go around the conference, it's presented by Mattress Firm.
Yeah, we had a chance to just go up the road a little ways and see the Duke-Miami game. Spent some time there. Miami looked extremely good in their win. And today, Pitt off to a great start against Rice. Georgia Tech, who we saw last week, Taquan Marshall already with a touchdown on the board. And how about tonight? Get ready. Clemson, Virginia Tech. How about kind of laying in the weeds there? Wake Forest waiting for Florida State.
Wake Forest undefeated on the season at 4-0. Florida State seeking its first win of the year. Obviously affected by the Hurricanes, along with Miami, which was impressive in its winning effort. We got to go down to field level and check out the action yesterday at Wallace Wade Stadium. That's going to be a loss. Dante Strickland got the call. Bradley Chubb made the tackle, and they lost 3.
Well, nothing slows down a tempo offense than negative plays. They're trying to get some run game going to slow down the front four that's rushing Eric Dungey, but maybe the best two-way guy at the defensive end spot is that guy right there. Bradley Chubb can play the run equally with rushing the passer, and he's going to get after Dungey right here.
3rd down for the Orange. Dungey over the middle. It's complete on the run to Irvin Phillips.
What a beautiful throw by Dungey with Chubb coming off his right side. Dungey stands in there strong and shoots it right down the pipe to the number 2 receiver in Syracuse history. Phillips over the middle. Big time play.
22 yards on the play for the Orange on 3rd down. Back to the air. And that one is knocked around. Hit both the receiver and defender. Intended for Sean Riley. Sean Boone knocked it to the turf. Time for our Food Line impact players. NC State on defense.
Jared Fernandez, the linebacker. He's the leader, runs the team, leads in tackles. And Sean Boone is that guy that's just like Paris Bennett, just a football player, makes plays around the ball.
Shovel forward to Strickland. He's into NC State territory, but just short on 2nd down. It picked up 8. So it'll be 3rd and 2. Jarius Moorhead on the play. Strickland trying to move that football forward and pick up the 1st down. Forced back, but based on the spot at the 45, it's going to be a 1st down for the Orange.
Well, you see the tempo there, Tom. Syracuse rushed to the line of scrimmage, immediately got into the play they wanted. NC State was still trying to recover from the last play, and they get the 1st down. So nice job using tempo to move the chains.
The Orange 2-2 on the season, losing last Saturday at LSU. Came back to make that a 2-point game, but ultimately lost 35-26 to the Tigers.
The defense for NC State very cognizant of the fact that Dungey is the leading rusher on this team. They've been very aware of him potentially keeping the ball on a quarterback design run.
Felt the pressure, escapes the pocket. Cuts at the 45, 35, and now close to the 30. Arias Moore on the tackle, but there is the dangerous nature of number 2, Dungey.
Yeah, this is the scramble run, too. Here's Chubb coming off his left side. They did a good job of shoving him around the pocket, which is where you want him. And then Dungey picks it up and goes up the field for 1st down.
11 on the previous play. This one, they'll just throw that one out of bounds. Justin Jones pressuring.
For Eric Dungey now, Dino Babers has designed runs for the quarterback, draws, sweeps, that type of stuff. And then it's when he breaks you down and scrambles. So Dino's done a nice job. He said, hey, this guy's got a linebacker mentality. I've tried to get him to lay. You know what? I just told him to bulk up. We're going to run you. We're going to let you run. Just be aware of what you're doing. Get out of bounds if you can.
10th play of the drive. Flick forward. Strickland. Not a whole lot of running room. Maybe 3 for Strickland there. 2:23 and rolling. Let's go down to DJ Moore on Dungey.
Yeah, talking to Dungey early in the week, he told me, yeah, they talked about me adding weight, but also what to do better when I run. Slide, throw it away, and sometimes that extra yard is not always worth it.
Dungey hemmed in, continued his street. Dropped for a 3-yard loss on 3rd down.
Yeah, good discipline this time by NC State. Dave Huxtable, defensive coordinator, talked about we've got ideas that when he likes to run. That's a little stunt where Contavia Street starts outside, stunts back to the inside to take away the avenue on the design quarterback draw right there. Nice job for NC State to stop the drive and force the long field goal.
Cole Murphy is on for a field goal attempt of 48 yards. That long of 42 last week at LSU. And 48 yards away for Murphy. He missed it.
Well, Murphy had come in with 7 consecutive makes. It was 8 of 9 on the year, so a bit of a surprise for him to miss there.
That was an 11-play drive that did not yield any points for Syracuse. Our Duke Energy presentation of the ACC Standings Day. Clemson will take on Virginia Tech tonight.
By virtue of NC State's vanquishing of Florida State a week ago, they're in the mix right here for the Atlantic Division title. You look at the Coastal. Miami, big win last night at Duke. They've got Florida State next week. Georgia Tech trying to take care of business today, already up in their game. And of course, Virginia Tech, the big game against Clemson tonight. And that's good news for the Syracuse Oranges. Zaire Franklin, the leader of their defense, back in the middle.
Clemson's won 7 straight games against ranked opponents as they take on the Hokies tonight. A flag comes out on that play. Coming to the near side, DeQuay Nichols was running it, but he's clutching that right knee.
Well, he got him up around the shoulder pad and then slid to the helmet, it looked like, Tom, and it just kind of twisted Nichols' body.
Face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, and then the run, automatic, first down.
Yeah, got him up around the face mask and just kind of leaned him backwards, kind of tilted him back here. Put that leg at a bad angle. Man.
It's Paris Bennett flagged for the face mask for the Orange. Just an awkward fall there for Nichols. Training staff out of the field, taking a look at Nichols. With the penalty, Dave, that's going to march the football up to the 46 of NC State.
Well, Nichols, the redshirt senior, he's played a lot of special teams. He's had some injuries he's dealt with since he's been here at NC State, but he's a guy that, when you talk to Dave Dorn about him, always a guy you can count on to do just about anything you ask him to do. Here was spelling Naheem Hines at the tailback spot. He'd only carried the ball 7 times on the year.
Does have a touchdown run this season. Coach Babers in the Orange, after losing this matchup against NC State last year. In fact, NC State has dominated this series, Dave. They lead it 9-1, and they've won 3 in a row against the Orange. But right now, the focus on DeQuay Nichols, the graduate student from Rockingham, North Carolina, who went down on the previous play, the face mask against Paris Bennett.
Well, you hate to see it for any player to go down on this field. It's such a tough physical sport. And this was one that was kind of a quirky tackle, just twisted his body in a way you don't anticipate. It looks like he's going to have to be assisted to get off the field here.
Bennett was the player. Call for the infraction. You could see him try to let go at the very last second as we saw the replay, but the damage had already been done.
Yeah, you're flowing across, you're being blocked. If you're Bennett, you reach out with the left hand, just trying to grab maybe some jersey, and the hand slides up and grabs hold of the helmet. Obviously no intent on Paris Bennett's behalf of trying to pull DeQuay Nichols down that way. It just, if everything's bang, bang, and happens so quickly that sometimes those things happen.
Okay, Dave, let's check in with Katie in Charlotte. Katie, thank you. Pittsburgh, as we saw last week, Dave, kind of in search of a starting quarterback to see what the decision is there as they continue to attend to DeQuay Nichols. Paris Bennett was flagged for the face mask. Needing the assistance of the cart to take Nichols back to the locker room.
And there's even though you play for other schools and different teams, there's a brotherhood amongst the guys that actually go inside the lines and play the game. So there's nobody that probably feels worse right now about this injury than Paris Bennett, who that call for the face mask and drug DeQuay Nichols down at a tough angle. Shock, this is one of those scenarios as players, you and I both played. I mean, you feel for a guy that goes down even though you might be on the other team.
You do, and you look on the NC State sideline and you can just see the pain and agony on all these guys' faces. We talked to them throughout the entire week, and they all talk about the brotherhood, how they absolutely care about each other, and they're always hanging out together. And you can see every single guy down here is literally on a knee and paying full attention to what's going on to their brother on the field.
Well, unfortunately, it certainly is it's a lower extremity issue, and they're being very careful. The people along the sidelines now are very, very good at taking care of guys and making sure they give them the best on-site treatment they can get to get them to the hospital. So we can bet that DeQuay Nichols is being taken care of at the highest level by the NC State staff.
Dave, ironically, in 2015, the last time the teams met here at Carter-Finley Stadium, Nichols had one of his biggest games of his career. 12 carries, 78 yards. First career start in the win over the Orange. Averaged 6.5 yards per rush in that football game, and that was a win, 42-29. In fact, NC State has won the last 3 against Syracuse, and a big game for Nichols 2 years ago here on this field.
Well, then as a coach now, is Dino Babers and Dave Dorn now, he's going to have to, this is a tough sight to watch as a player, regardless of what helmet you got on. Now there's the moment now where as a coach, you got to try to get back to the game, even though it's far more important to make sure that DeQuay Nichols is taken care of. Once he leaves, now you got to dial your team back in. And how do you do that? And there's some guys that have great techniques to be able to do that, get back to playing football. Both teams are affected in potentially a different way, but Dino Babers and Dave Dorn are going to have to pull their teams together and get them ready to play. And thoughts and prayers to DeQuay Nichols right here as he's about to be put onto the cart and taken out.
DJ, you've got a little bit more from field level?
Yeah, Art, you were just talking about how most coaches try to find a way to get their guys going. Coach Dave Dorn literally right now is walking through his offensive unit and say, hey, the best way to represent your fallen guys to go down and score a touchdown. So he's keeping in mind to his players, yeah, we got a guy down, but at the same time, this is how you can reward him by going down and playing with good effort.
Yeah, you might think that that's an easy thing to do, but a lot of these players are you know, they've had moments with DeQuay or whoever gets hurt. You spent time that the coach doesn't know anything about. So he's your buddy, he's your friend. You guys, and so those memories kind of flood in, and so it's really hard to get back into game mode. You've been in the locker room, warmed up, all that kind of stuff, started the game, and now there's that moment where you got to try to restart and reset, and sometimes it's really hard to do for players, and that's why those coaches making a point of going around and visiting with guys, kind of reminding them why they're out here. Shock, it's, you know, this is never an easy moment when you get a guy banged up like this.
DJ, we can see all of his teammates around him with well wishes as he will head back to the NC State locker room. Shock.
Yeah, every single player came off the sideline, came up and gave him a high five, was telling him he'd be okay. And or like you mentioned, it's tough to come back from something like this as a player. Been through it before, but now you see one of your fallen teammates go down and you have to regroup, and you got the support of the fans now, so it's an awesome feeling, but it's going to be hard to come back from something like this.
Well, yeah, and think about the fact for DeQuay Nichols, he doesn't have any eligibility left. This might be it for him. So there's more to this than potentially a younger player that goes down that's thinking about coming back and rehabbing. Certainly he's going to have to rehab from this, but his opportunity to play might be gone for NC State. So a lot more emotions attached to this one than some other injuries, but certainly thoughts and prayers to DeQuay Nichols and everything he's going to have to go through from here on.
Yeah, the stabilizing that left knee with a very large brace. Parrish Bennett was flagged for the face mask, remains in the game for the Orange. The ball is spotted at the 46 of NC State. First down for the Wolfpack. Start with a run to Samuels. Makes a cut at the 50. Samuels lowers the shoulder, and he's taken out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Jalen Samuels on the run.
Well, we talked about how he'll line up in a lot of different places. Here he's at the running back. Watch the patience now. Wait, find the crease and hit it. This is where they think he might be a big-time player at the next level. Is it your feature running back position? He certainly has those skills, and you see it with his ability to be patient and find the crease.
He picked up 22 yards on the rush down to the Orange 32-yard line. Finley down close inside the 5, and that pass falls incomplete. Looking for C.J. Riley. Number 19, Frederick defending for the Orange.
Again, Frederick, excellent coverage this time on the outside. This is a wheel route, meaning you start flat and then you wheel it up the sideline. They're trying to take a big shot, and Frederick was right in Riley's hip pocket on this play.
Finley, who averages close to 30 completions per game, the best in the ACC on second down from the Orange 32. He's thrown for over 1,200 yards this season, third best in the conference. This one is incomplete to Samuels. Tight defending and a late flag against Jonathan Thomas. And Samuels is also still down on the turf trying to gather himself.
Well, this was a late call from the back judge.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
I don't think it was number 14. They called it on Foster. I think it was Jonathan Thomas. Was it not in the slot, number 23? 23, as we look, Jalen Samuels kind of squatted back down, but he's okay.
So Samuels to the sideline. The running back is Reggie Gillespie, junior from High Point, North Carolina, right behind Finley. Fake on the run. The pass is tipped and incomplete. Steph Lewis. Scoot Bradshaw defensively for Syracuse.
Well, and what this does, Tom, is you see these two defenders, the last two plays are jumping these slant routes. What it is going to be a sluggo play or a slant and go. They're going to fake the slant and go over the top. And these two corners that are crashing so hard better be aware of that. That's when you see, as an offensive coordinator, you're looking down and saying, wait a minute, they're playing these short routes really tight. I'm going to take a shot at a double move right here for a touchdown.
Ball at the 20 of Syracuse. 6-0 NC State on a couple of field goals from Carson Wise. This to the front corner of the end zone. It is a touchdown. Steph Lewis made the grab. He beat Scoot Bradshaw. 20 yards and a TD for the Pack.
Now we talk about accuracy with the throw. Steph Lewis, the senior, going to run the fade route. Sets him up to the inside. Excellent move. Saves room to the outside. We call it the box area. Save it outside and allow Finley to take you to the sideline with the throw. No way Foster, the safety, could get there from his half safety position.
Ryan Finley. The pass to Steph Lewis. Lewis with his second TD grab of the season. Dino Baber's team now trailing 13-0. 25 seconds to go in our first quarter.
Yeah, when you look at taking care of the football, Ryan Finley getting in rarefied air. See Russell Wilson way at the top, who played here at NC State as well, but now third all-time in ACC history at taking care of the ball. No interceptions in 238 attempts for Ryan Finley. And that was an extremely well-thrown ball to the outside on the fade.
All right, Dave, here's our drive summary. It's brought to you by Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win.
Well, remember, this is a drive that included the DeQuay Nichols injury, so there was a long wait for this NC State offense to get going again, and they responded. DJ talked about how one way to talk about or remember your teammate there or to reward him for all his efforts is to go down and score a touchdown. That's exactly what they did.
9th TD pass of the season for Finley. Kyle Bambard to kick it away. Sean Riley is deep for the Orange. Standing at the goal line. That's into the end zone. Our coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. So proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast Military Appreciation Day here at Carter-Finley Stadium, and we salute all of the women and men defending freedom throughout the world under the colors of the United States.
Yeah, good, really cool to see a lot of those people here, the men and women that wear uniform and serve our country. All of them are here today. Fun to see them.
Orange football, first down play could be the final play of this first quarter. 3 yards on the rush.
Tom, just 14 plays offensively for Syracuse here in the first quarter. This is a team that's averaging 83 plays a game. NC State has kept them off the field, and when they've been out there, they've gotten them off the field.
One more snap for the Orange. Dungy down the seam. It is caught. Irvin Phillips made the grab on the final play of the quarter for 37 yards. Beat Boone and McLeod in that Pack secondary. The Pack out to a 13-0 lead on Military Appreciation Day, but the Orange moving the ball. The second quarter straight ahead from Raleigh.
Family from Duplin County. Steven is a former.
Our first quarter stats are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 11 years, over $5 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
Well, we saw that last play of the first quarter, how explosive Syracuse is. So time of possession doesn't necessarily come into play as long as they can put points on the board. But North Carolina State has really limited their opportunities. But we see how quick the coaches told us when our keys to the game for North Carolina State is a 4-quarter game, because Syracuse can strike quick.
They just had a 37-yard pass play. NC State can't strike quickly defensively, and that's what they do. Jared Fernandez forcing the pressure, a loss of 4 as Dungy goes down.
Now man coverage this time and come with extra pressure, try to break down the protection against Dungy. And what they did the best about that, Tom, was they kept him in the pocket. They didn't allow him to escape, because in man coverage, if the quarterback escapes, there's a big run for him waiting.
Justin Jones was credited with a sack on that previous play. Ball back now at the 39-yard line of NC State. Chris Elmore with the carry. Elmore up to the 33-yard line. 6-yard carry for Chris Elmore, the freshman from Chicago, Illinois.
Phillips Academy. It's his 9th carry, kind of a changeup. He's a huge back at 6 feet, 280 pounds, Tom, and he's a good pass protector to be in there, but they send him out to an empty set.
Dungy surveys and throws down near the 5 and incomplete, looking for Steve Ishmael.
He just didn't get enough on the ball. Dungy gets knocked to the ground here as he's letting it go, and I don't think he got enough on it. He certainly had Ishmael open in the seam. Let's take a look at the pressure Dungy's under. Just kind of got up underneath the arm, and he couldn't follow through to pull it down to Ishmael, who was streaking up the field in that seam area. Short throw. That guy is a seek and destroy guy in Bradley Chubb.
On 4th down, the Orange go for it. 4th and 8. And that pass at the 23-yard line, they'll mark it at the 24 to Irvin Phillips, is enough for a first down. Syracuse 9 yards on the connection.
He had a kind of an idea. They're going to try to convert on 3rd down. Phillips would be his guy, understands coverage extremely well, turns to the outside, presents his numbers to the quarterback, and a good job by he and Dungy being on the same page.
3rd catch of the game, Phillips. At the 21-yard line, Phillips again. He got 3. 11 straight games with a reception for Phillips as he starts to pile them up a little bit here.
Again, a nice read by Phillips to find a hole in that zone. Just sit it down. He and the quarterback on the same page. And get a fresh pass rusher in there. Roseboro comes in that defensive end spot.
5 receivers to choose from. We'll go back to Phillips, the junior from West Haven, Connecticut, a catch for 4 yards.
Well, what Phillips can do, Tom, is he can force you to play man coverage. And see, he understands coverage. It seems he just sits it down. He comes off the ball looking. He's got an option route. If it's man, he'll break away. If it's zone, he'll hook it up. There's the man coverage option. He had man coverage. He came inside and looped back to the outside. So that's Phillips at his finest. He really understands coverage, manipulating it with zone, and that time against man and found a way to get open. NC State been pretty good defensively in the red zone. Only 1 touchdown in the last 6 possessions.
This is Dungy, though, spinning at the goal line, and he goes in. Eric Dungy takes it in from 7 yards out. Hits an orange touchdown.
He's had a tough time getting clean in the run game. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is a design run for Dungy. And now watch the ability. Boy, he put on his Chuck Foreman hat right there with the spin. I just lost half our audience with the Chuck Foreman reference, didn't I? But Chuck Foreman, the great Minnesota Viking, but an excellent drive by Syracuse. 10 plays to put one in the end zone.
The first rushing TD that the Wolfpack has allowed in its last 3+ games. Well, we saw Taquan Marshall spin last week. Dungy this time as he goes into the end zone for the Orange, and they're on the board.
ACC football is being brought to you by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Wow, some of the best tailgating in all of the ACC. Take your pick, Dave. You want cupcakes? You want a hamburger?
They have one of each.
You'll have it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about Eric Dungy? What a drive there. Dungy took it in from 7 yards out. Phillips was big on that drive also, Dave, with 5 catches for 63 yards and 1 for 37 at the end of the first quarter on that drive.
Yeah, good job play calling wise that time. Sean Lewis did a good job of mixing things up, kind of keeping NC State off balance. Ball out of his hands quickly to Phillips.
Dave, the AP Top 25 is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Yeah, you got 4 ACC teams in the top 25. Miami, we looked outstanding. I think they're going to jump up. Virginia Tech and Clemson, will go head-to-head. And if you had 26 right there, that would be NC State. That's how good NC State has been this year. They're creeping into that top 25. But, boy, Miami looked good last night defensively. They really got after Duke.
NC State is 3-1 on the season. So the Hines on the rush up the middle, carving his way beyond the 40-yard line. Nyheim Hines, Evan Foster had to make the tackle. 17 yards for number 7.
Just really good vision by Hines that time. And much like Samuels on the outside run in the first quarter, Hines' patience to kind of press the hole and then slide to that backside. Did a good job of setting up blocks on that interior run.
Wolfpack 2-0 on its home field this season, as Hines goes beyond the 45 to the 46, down to DJ.
97 Brandon Berry with the tackle.
We'll get to Shock in a moment. They're having a little bit of a mic issue, but DJ had a chance to visit with a lot of these players, and during the week he's got some really good stuff we're going to give to you throughout the broadcast.
Second down for the Pack. Hines crossed the 50 to the 49 of the Orange for a 4-yard pickup.
Nyheim Hines is the ball carrier.
Let's go back and check in with DJ.
We talked about Hines and his ability to have that speed. He said he wants to be like Chris Johnson. You mentioned earlier being on that 4x1 relay team, all ACC team. He is one of those guys when he gets in space, has the distance to go the distance, and he wants to be that type of player. He wants to be a 3-down guy, and we've seen him do it numerous times today and have that speed to take it the distance.
Yeah, they're going to see if Syracuse challenges him to pass block when they want to throw it.
1 for 4 on 3rd down. Hines is going to get it, and a whole lot more for the Pack. He's dragged down near the 10. Franklin had to make the saving tackle. Nyheim Hines
depth of these two backs, Hines and Samuels. Samuels is lined up in the backfield. You see number 1? So my eyes are thinking Samuels because he's touched the ball every time he's been back there. And here comes Hines on the jet sweep with the great speed. Makes a tackler miss, and he's up the field for a big play, an explosive play for this offense. I think it's pretty cool how they're using the two backs, Tom, and interchanging where they're lining up, trying to draw your eyes someplace else, and the other one has the ball in his hands.
Back the other way goes Gillespie to the end zone. Reggie Gillespie for NC State from 10 yards out.
Now, Gillespie came in averaging 4 yards a carry. When he gets his opportunities, he cashes it in. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. Just a cutback. Stretch to the left side, cut it back all the way back. Big time stiff arm to get in the end zone. A little bigger back. Hines, about 200 pounds, 5'9". Gillespie, almost 6 feet tall, and about 225 pounds. A little bit more power out of Reggie Gillespie.
The extra point is no good from Carson Wise. Keep in mind he's connected on field goals from 26 and 48 yards, but it is Reggie Gillespie taking it in. The Pack celebrates and has the lead, 19-7. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
What's all this Naheem Hines, Jalen Samuels talk? Reggie Gillespie says, how about me? 225-pound Reggie Gillespie says, no oranges for me today.
Wow, what a stiff arm. Takes it into the end zone for Gillespie. 19-7 is the lead. The extra point was no good. 2 trips to the red zone today for NC State, a field goal and that touchdown by Gillespie. 2 for 2 in the red zone for the Pack. Sean Riley steps to this kickoff. Riley out close to the 30-yard line on the return. Let's go to Katie in the studio. She's got some information on Boston College.
Yeah, let's head to Chestnut Hill, the 4th overall meeting between Central Michigan and Boston College.
Offense, defense, special teams, 3 phases. That's Michael Walker, jersey number 3, taking it 61 yards to about the 5-yard line to put Boston College in position to ultimately punch that in.
Still in the first quarter, Boston College on top, 7-2. Tom, back to you guys.
Steve Adazio just looking for some dudes. He wants some dudes to step up. Looked like he found one right there.
To BC's credit, Dave, they played a solid football game last week against Clemson.
Yeah, they did. They played all the way into the 4th quarter, and they just couldn't quite hang on.
It's tied 7-all entering the 4th. That's where the Tigers took over, and that's why they're number 2 in the country. The number 2 in our game has to go out of bounds in some frustration as he goes over near that kicking net. He was forced out by Jonathan Alston.
Yeah, really well played by NC State. Strung it out. They're looking for that little shovel pass. Dino Baber's looking for some answers now. Trying to supplement his running game, and that little shovel pass didn't work out. See the play coming in.
It's Sean Lewis, co-offensive coordinator, Dave, with Mike Lynch.
Fun talking to him the other day. He said Dungy just has that swagger now, like his feet are up on the table. He's in complete control.
Dungy with the poise from the pocket, floats it up near midfield and complete. It's Mo Neal inside the 30 for the Orange. Dungy finding Mo Neal deep into NC State territory, 47 yards.
Different formation. Neal is a running back. He gets outside the numbers, runs up the sideline, and NC State lost him on the fade.
The Orange up-tempo, give it back to Mo Neal on the run. Unable to get positive yardage. Mo Neal, by the way, Dave, the only player on the Syracuse roster who is a North Carolina native. Neal, number 21 in white, the sophomore from Gastonia, North Carolina.
He had 4 catches last week against LSU for 31 yards.
Forest View High School for Mo Neal. Dungy standing tall. Down to the goal line. Deflected! And incomplete as Irvin Phillips almost able to bring it in on the deflection.
Boy, a high point throw. Sean Boone is the defender for NC State, working against Phillips, who's been red hot today. Good job by Dungy to look the safety off. Now pump it down the seam. Good job by Boone, and then almost a carom catch by Irvin Phillips as he tries to stay with it. Boone gets the right hand in there. Or Boone comes in and gets the right hand in there to knock it out.
Tim Kid Glass also came in at the end of the play, Dave, to make sure that Phillips couldn't grab that one. Now Dungy takes off with a blocker. Dungy cut down inside the 20 and near the 16-yard line, maybe 17-yard line. 9 yards for Dungy. Moorhead on the tackle.
And it keeps him in that very thought where you're going to go, and I think that Dino's going to stay aggressive here. Dino Babers. I think he'd go because I think NC State has gotten a rhythm offensively. You got to put points on when you're inside the red zone. You want that touchdown, get the big back in there with him, Tom. Chris Elmore, 280 pounds, flanks to his left. That was right.
Yeah, already converting 1 4th down of the game, Dave. This is Dungy trying to get that necessary yard. How close is this going to be? He needed to get to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, they've got him marked short, Tom. They got him short of the 16.
The gray shirts pile up on Dungy. Contavious Street leading the way for NC State defensively.
Went with a kind of an option play, but it looked like Dungy was looking for a crease all the way. And his big offensive lineman, Hackett, fell down. Hackle fell down in front of him, and there was no push up front.
The 4th down measurement for the Orange.
Big fella Hackle looked like he got his feet knocked out from running, and Dungy just got stopped.
It's not close. Back to NC State as the defense denies Eric Dungy on 4th down.
Let's take a look at this again, Tom, and watch Hackle, number 75. The left guard is going to kind of fall down in front of Dungy. It kind of stops his feet. Look, 75 goes down. He's trying to cut block. It's kind of in the way there. There's just no place for Dungy to go. And just didn't have that crease where he could fall forward for first down. Just needed a yard there.
So Dungy, who had taken it into the end zone on the last Orange possession for a 7-yard TD run, unable to convert on 4th down. Gillespie. Tough to bring him down, but the Orange had him around the ankles. That was Jonathan Thomas.
Yeah, nice job by the Syracuse Orange defense here of stopping Gillespie's feet.
1-yard gain.
See, that Syracuse defense leads the nation in 3 and outs, almost 8 a game, but they have not been able to convert that today. But a good start on this drive. Up front, did a good job of stopping the back's feet.
Second and 9. Finley keeps it, dives for the 30-yard line. Ryan Finley not afraid to run that football. 12 yards and a first down before Dowells brought him down.
Yeah, this is just dive option. Fake the dive to Samuels. Now come out on the edge, and Finley does a good job. They've taken the pitch away in his mind. Hits it up the field for the first down. It's not something they do a ton of, but because of Finley's ability, bulked himself up over the offseason, and he feels comfortable from time to time carrying the ball there, Tom.
NC State with 130 total rush yards. Finley has 16 of those on 2 carries.
That's control the line of scrimmage. That's your goal when you come into a game. Can we control the line of scrimmage? NC State's doing that.
Big pile at the 32-yard line. NC State, Dave, rushing this season 146 yards per game. It's only 10th in the conference. Trying to establish that run game and using Finley as a part of it this afternoon.
Yeah, as much as they'd like to run the ball, they're a little bit more of a spread throw-it team. Now, they want to feature Hines and Gillespie and Samuels, but when they're really at their best is when the run game is facilitating the way they throw it, because they spread you all over the field, averaging over 300 yards a game in the air.
Clock for 25 seconds. Thank you.
Dave, you're right. 315 yards through the air per game for NC State, and that is second best in the ACC. 5th year on the sidelines for Dave Doran. 7th overall as a head coach. He's 3-1 against the Orange.
Showing pressure.
Incomplete at the 35-yard line.
But man coverage that time, a little bit tighter coverage instead of the zone. They'll give Finley the easy throw. Good contested play right there in the secondary.
Devin M. Butler broke it up. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator for the Orange. On 3rd and 8, Dave.
They reset the play clock. Now, when you look at what's going on here, here's 3 receivers up here. Jalen Samuels all by himself right there. Syracuse showing zone coverage here. Nobody goes to the motion back.
2 for 5 on 3rd down in the game for NC State. Finley with the patience. A flag came out. The ball was picked off. Scoop Bradshaw, but there is a flag on the play, on the pass and pick by Finley.
It's going to be holding in the secondary. Holding in the secondary by Syracuse. Did a really good job of disguising the play because they jumped to man coverage.
Number 7, defense. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Well, I thought it was a great design by the defensive coaches. There's the hold right here. He kind of stumbled into him and grabbed him and pulled him down. Pretty easy call by the official, and it takes away an excellent play by Scoop Bradshaw on the outside with the interception.
He stepped in front of Steph Lewis, but it was Devin M. Butler on the penalty, DJ.
Yeah, you guys talk about what they do on defense, and it's a great disguise. Coach, the defensive coordinator, Brian Ward, said they want to challenge all routes, affect the QB, and hold teams under 100 yards rushing.
Well, they've done the first 2. Having a tough time. That last one's already gone.
Gadget play. Locklear throws it. Back to Finley with a one-handed catch, and he's out of bounds inside the 40 of the Orange.
How nonchalant. We talked to Finley yesterday. This guy is so poised. Just lead him with the throw. Just reach up, pluck it out of the sky with that right hand. No problem. You can get out of bounds. Little gadget play here. Locklear on the throw. Really enjoyed talking to Finley yesterday. He's a guy that really is confident with what he's doing now in the system. Talked about, Tom, you mentioned he and Drinkwitz came over from Boise State together.
Picked up 21 yards on the razzle-dazzle. More conventional. Reggie Gillespie running right side. He got 7 yards on that play, Dave.
Well, they come at you in so many different ways. There are just a lot of weapons on this team. And if they can protect up front, this is a team that has a chance to do some damage.
Gillespie has a touchdown run of 10 yards. That coming earlier in this quarter. 2nd and 3. NC State. Gillespie again down to the 25, and that's going to be a first down as those sticks move. 6 yards for Gillespie.
Yeah, and that's order number 1 for Syracuse, is they've got to find a way to limit the run game, and it's probably going to have to be run blitz. They're going to have to bring more people than NC State can block and start filling all the gaps, which means you're going to have to play man coverage on the outside with all the weapons they distribute. Here's Jalen Samuels way up here.
8th play of the drive for NC State. Gillespie now 4 carries and 24 yards and that TD. 1st and 10 from the 25. Coming back the other way is Samuels. Looking for that block on the edge. Steps out near the 15. Rodney Williams forcing him out. 10 yards on the pickup.
Well, we talked to Syracuse coaches. It's not going to be hard to find him because he's number 1, but just does a nice job of letting the block set up, stays in behind the block, and as he's waiting for that block to go, he's gaining yardage. So he's an accomplished runner. We talk about, 20 rushing touchdowns. He's got 18 receiving touchdowns. Just does it in a lot of ways.
Cole Cook had the key block in front of Samuels on that previous play, which produced the first down to the 15. It's going to be a loss on this rushing attempt.
Well, again, another nice play. You got Jonathan Thomas, the linebacker, comes up, helps out on the tackle. Syracuse has done a nice job on first down in a number of these drives, and a number of these 3-play sequences. Now they've got to follow it up with some plays to get themselves off the field defensively.
Samuels, who tied the school record for receptions with 15 in that opening week loss against South Carolina in Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium. The only loss of the season. Samuels. The cut at the 15. Samuels sheds the tackler and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Samuels.
kid is putting on a show. I don't think we can emphasize enough. This is a next level guy. This is a big time player. This is the jet sweep again to Samuels. He's going to make that one miss, and then the stiff arm at the end on Zaire Franklin, who's one of the best tackling linebackers in the ACC. Special player, boy. Number 1.
21 career rushing touchdowns for Jalen Samuels.
What's he do? Give him the ball. All he does is score touchdowns. Jalen Samuels. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. 26-7 Wolfpack here at Carter-Finley Stadium with 2:21 left. And let's take a look at Jalen Samuels. Look at these blocks on the outside. You got one right here, and one right here. And then you're going to get the stiff arm by Samuels at the end. 3 really good blocks, and then Samuels' unique talent to be able to stiff arm and step in the end zone. Well, he's a fun guy to watch.
5 carries, 59 yards, and that touchdown. He also has a catch in the game, which means that Jalen Samuels now has 33 straight games with a reception. And rushing TD for Jalen Samuels was his. Let's make sure we check on this one. 5th of the season, Dave. 5th rushing TD.
He's kind of been their short yardage guy, Tom, this year. They brought him in on the goal line, and he had 4 kind of goal line runs for touchdowns, and that one on the jet sweep, which we saw him do a ton a year ago.
Dave, how about his 39th career TD also for Samuels? He's now 4th in school history in that category. Short kick from Bambard. Kenneth Ruff on the return of 10 yards. We're going to take a timeout. The Pack in front, 26-7. The lead for NC State. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom as we take a look at our Haviland defensive shield.
Yeah, Mario Williams, big-time player in the National Football League, certainly here as a member of the Wolfpack. Bradley Chubb closing in on that tackles for loss number.
Chubb also 4th in career tackles for loss, and that record is also held by Mario Williams with 55.5. Just about 2 minutes to go in our first half of action. It has been all NC State. For Syracuse, a 7-yard TD run. Eric Dungy represents their 7 points. Over the middle, Phillips, and into NC State territory. Catch at the 47 and 16 yards.
Well, Syracuse has had some moments where they moved the football, Tom, instead of having the ball very much. And Phillips has had his way so far with NC State secondary.
He's over 100 yards receiving with that catch for Phillips. This to Ishmael at the boundary. It's incomplete and a late flag.
Well, he went out of bounds. Came back in. He can't be the first guy to touch the ball. Let's see if he got forced out. Discussion along the sideline by the officials. Well, Ishmael has not caught a ball yet today. Leading receiver receptions per game in the country, averaging over 11 catches a game.
There's no flag downfield. There is holding on the offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down. Previous play is under further review.
Yeah, they're looking to see if Ishmael stepped out of bounds. Would be, I would assume, the check here. McGlosser, the guy we talked about, was going to draw Bradley Chubb today. That was the review. They're taking a look to make sure he did step out of bounds, which he did.
Coming into this weekend, Dave, 45 catches for Ishmael. Tops in the nation. Again, as Dave mentioned, 0 catches. And this is from a guy who averages 128 yards receiving per game. Second best in the ACC.
Yeah, came in with 4 consecutive 100-yard games. Remember, this is a Syracuse team that had outstanding receiver Amba Edatawa last year that set the place on fire with his ability to catch the ball in this offense, and Ishmael has kind of picked up his workload. Ishmael only had 2 100-yard games in his career coming into this season. He has 4 consecutive. And you mentioned Irvin Phillips over 100 yards. That's just his 3rd time. He had 200-yard games a year ago. That's his first 100-yard game of this year. So this is a talented couple guys throwing the ball. But let's give NC State a ton of credit, Tom. They've limited how many times Dungy can throw it to him. A nice job.
Dave, you mentioned Amba Edetawo, who came on so powerfully at the receiver position for the Orange last year. 94 catches, 1,482 receiving yards, both school records for Edetawo. Spent 1 year in an Orange uniform. So referee Gary Patterson.
Still reviewing whether Ishmael had gone out of bounds. There is Steve Ishmael.
Only been targeted twice so far today, Dave.
Came in third all time in receiving in Syracuse history, 159 receptions. The great Alec Lemon with 201 receptions for the Syracuse Orange. You might think, you know, we were thinking about the yesterday, we were chopping it up, and we were thinking, okay, Alec Lemon. How about Art Monk? Remember, Art Monk played receiver at Syracuse, but it was not. It was Alec Lemon, 201 catches.
So you're saying Lemon for the Orange. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah.
He's a very citrusy feel to that comment. Art Monk, the Hall of Famer.
Somebody's having fun on the deck mixing those. A little extra.
So we've sorted it out. They were checking on whether Ishmael had gone out of bounds first. So Dungy is going to go down. Oh, it's a sack. Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, Cody Conway is going to get the opportunity, or maybe the misfortune, of having to block number 9. Just a bull rush, push him out of the way, rip to the inside, and put him on the ground. That looks like something that somebody does on Sunday. He's going to be doing it one day.
Let's check in with Katie, see what's coming up at halftime from our Charlotte studio.
Thanks, Tom. Coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look back at that Bradley Chubb little sack dance. Is that what he did?
That's called a money dance when you know it's coming.
What have you guys seen in this one?
Right now, NC State rushed the ball 182 yards. Jalen Samuels, 11 yards a carry. Naheem Hines, 7.5.
Eric Dungy, you threw an interception, cost your team. It was 4th and 1. They put the ball in your hands on the NC State 17. You came up short. Eric Dungy's costing them right now.
3 other games, including this one, coming up. We're going to take a look at all of the highlights around the league. Make sure to keep it right here for the ACC Network Halftime Report.
Katie, thank you. We look forward to the comments from Coach Tommy and Stan at halftime.
Stan's got his big game hunter outfit on today. He's hunting people, isn't he? Dungy not getting it done to the Norfleet Gage.
Dungy does have a rushing touchdown in this game, the only TD for the Orange. Wants to throw it. It's deflected and batted. Falling incomplete. Darian Roseborough got a piece of that Dungy pass.
He's getting to know Bradley Chubb pretty good, too. Chubb's going to push through on a bull rush here and knock him to the ground as well at the back end of this. Number 9, Relentless, going to come through on a twist. And Roseborough knocked it to the ground on the other side.
3rd and 29. Sean Lewis, Mike Lynch, co-offensive coordinators digging deep in the bag of tricks here for 3rd and 29. 1:28 to go in the second quarter. Dungy's got the time. At the 40, complete. Ishmael passes the 45-yard line, goes out of bounds. Nick McLeod made the tackle, 11 yards. Catch by Steve Ishmael. It is his first of the ball game.
Offense staying on the field here. I think you got to punt the football as much as you'd like to go for it here. I think you got to punt it.
Now they've gone for it twice on 4th down of the game. Dave converted 1 of those 4th down attempts, but this is 4th and 17.
Yeah, this is the right decision by Dino. As much as he'd like to keep his offense on the field, they just haven't been out there enough. Some of it's their fault for not being able to convert on 3rd down, but you can't do that here. And this is a high-powered offense now. People think, okay, hey, it's 26-7. This team can score quickly, so they're going to reload for the second half.
The first punt of our ball game, Sterling Hoffrichter. Hines wants the fair catch. He's going to let it sail. Hitting just before the 5-yard line and going into the end zone. 53-yard punt. The Ram Power Play is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Georgia Tech B-back Quade Weimerskirch Had only 6 career carries coming into last weekend against Pittsburgh. The sophomore made this one count, bulldozing his way into the end zone, Dave. A 19-yard TD run for Weimerskirch.
Yeah, you just got to like to say the name, Weimerskirch. I love it. Got in the end zone. Boy, was he excited, too. A pretty cool opportunity for him. And, boy, he showed a lot of power to push it in the end zone. That Georgia Tech offense now got it cranked up. All right, now what do you do here? You got a nice lead. You got 3 timeouts. Is it a green light situation for Finley?
Steph Lewis close to the 30-yard line of the pass from Ryan Finley for 9 yards.
You try to set the drive up with something that's not overly risky. Screen to the outside. Got 9 yards, so nice pickup on first down. You'd like to get the 10 to keep the clock stopped.
Finley and Lewis combined for a touchdown pass in the first quarter. That is complete. Jacoby Myers, 36-yard line. First down, 6 yards on that pass.
Run pass option there. If you like the count in the box, you might hand it for the first down. This is something that you work on every day in practice. And this team is really good, Tom, when you start talking about this 2-minute offense.
Jacoby Myers. Timeout for North Carolina State.
NC State has taken its first timeout of this half with 36 seconds to go. Leading 26-7. Fans, your local Toyota dealers want to take you to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game. Visit the ACC.com/Toyota tickets to enter for 2 tickets and a pregame photo on the field at Bank of America Stadium, December 2nd, the ACC Championship game. We're actually going to get a rematch of last year's ACC Championship game. That is tonight in Blacksburg. 42-35 was the win for Clemson last year in the ACC Championship game.
I just think Virginia Tech is a team that's laying in the weeds a little bit. And if you've never been to Lane Stadium and the inner Sandman and all that kind of stuff, those people up there are getting cranked up. And so Clemson better be buttoned up to get ready for the Hokies.
Second and 3. Hines busting towards midfield for 7 yards. Keep an eye on that clock. It'll stop right now as they reset the chains. So you're Franklin of the tackle of Hines. Finley, quick drop. Almost picked off.
Trying to get it to Samuels down the field, and a good job. They're dropping 8 into coverage. Hard to find those creases and cracks. If you're disciplined in your zone coverage, excellent job of dropping off there by Butler.
That close to his first interception of the season for Finley, Devin M. Butler.
And that's what they're trying to get you to do with this, Tom. 8 into coverage. They're trying to get you to try to force it into a tight window. If you get a tip ball in zone, it's usually intercepted.
Finley down the sideline. At the 20. It's complete. Steph Lewis made the catch. Finley with a perfect pass. 30 yards to Lewis.
And it gives you an idea of Finley's arm strength here. There's not a big window here. He's going to shoot it down the sideline. The safety is already on the numbers, and he doesn't get there to knock the ball away. He shot that right in the gap.
Finley looking right. Complete. Myers fighting his way inside the 15 to the 14, and an immediate timeout taken by NC State as Scoop Bradshaw made the tackle after a 6-yard gain.
A big-time throw on the play prior to Lewis. Playing that cover, a lot of different numbers for cover, so I won't go to that, but it's 3 deep coverage with 5 underneath. There's not a lot of holes. It's certainly not down the sideline, but his ability to shoot it over this corner and in front of the safety who is already over there. Big-time throw by Finley, and he's got his team in position to potentially put 7 on the board now. So this conversation here now, because you have timeouts in your pocket, you don't necessarily have to worry about the sack, but you do have to worry about extending the play. There's only 10 seconds on the clock. So if he starts to buy time and move around, he potentially could kill the clock, or certainly not give them one more play, which is the field goal attempt. So Finley's being told right here, remember how much time's left in the game. If you got a shot, take it. If not, save us some time for the field goal.
Finley is 5 of 6 throwing on this drive. NC State has scored on every possession of the first half.
Remember, the whole field's available. Jalen Samuels is lined up right here. They get a 3-receiver set into the boundary to try to create some confusion. Samuels has got a crease right down through the middle if he stays there.
He's got a TD run here in this quarter, and now it appears that a timeout has been taken by the Orange. They had their full complement of timeouts to utilize, and that's what head coach Dino Babers will do at this juncture with 10 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Well, it's very similar to what you see in basketball, where somebody comes out, they're going to do an out-of-bounds set, and the other coach that's on defense wants to see what the other team's going to line up in, and then comes in and burns a timeout. So they got the 3-receiver set to the boundary. Dino saw that, burns a timeout, and now his defensive coaches can potentially adjust to that. So what does Dave Dorn and Eli Drinkowitz do? Do they change the formation and come with a different play call?
Coach Doran took his team to the Independence Bowl last year, Dave. 3 straight years NC State has been to a bowl game. 7-6, 3-5 in conference, but this year it's a different story. Right now 1-0 in conference play, trying to go to 2-0 in the ACC for the first time since 06.
Yeah, in the comfort zone for NC State, they probably feel pretty comfortable throwing it anywhere, and they've actually changed the formation after the timeout. Now Jalen Samuels is down here. He was in the slot at the top, so now it's a 2-by-2 set, and Syracuse looks like they're going to potentially play zone coverage here. See if they lock up man.
10 seconds to go in the half.
They go man.
It's Samuels, the motion man. Finley to his left. Incomplete. Kelvin Harmon caught it out of bounds.
You got to kick the field goal now to make sure you get the point. So it's one play opportunity. Through the fade, one-on-one to the backside, and a really good job by Syracuse defensively. Fredericks played a good first half, Tommy. Good, forced the receiver to the boundary. No place, no room to catch the ball. Done a nice job at the corner spot.
So a field goal attempt from Carson Wise, who is 2 for 2 in the game. This will be an attempt from 31 yards away, and that 48-yarder, a career long for Wise in a NC State uniform. Timeout Orange.
Well, you're in a situation here where Dino just trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's on this last defensive series, in the fact that, okay, let's just make sure we're dialed in and we're not going to get any shenanigan type play out of NC State. NC State 26-7 up. This might be a place where they would potentially fake a field goal or something like that and steal a touchdown from you. Just want to make sure. Probably not in the offing, but it's a good job coaching by Dino Babers to make sure that's taken care of. Eric Dungy on the sideline. Dungy's got to be a little bit frustrated. That's Eric Dungy, the quarterback for Syracuse. Got to be a little bit frustrated. Hasn't necessarily had the ball very much in this first half, and has not been able to make enough plays to keep his team tight. But make no mistake, this game is far from over because they're too explosive on offense.
31-yard attempt. Wise trying to make NC State 5 for 5 in the red zone in this game. Now whistles before the field goal attempt.
Yeah, he's freezing the kicker.
Syracuse, their third and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So while we have a moment, we certainly want to recognize the Hall of Famer, Coach Mack, Dick McPherson, who passed away in early August of this year. He was 86 years old. You see what he did with the Orange. National Coach of the Year in '87. A College Football Hall of Famer. Dave, '87, they went 11-0-1 and tied Auburn in the Sugar Bowl.
He was an outstanding football coach, but talking to Dino Babers about him, as you see the patch commemorating Coach Mack, Dino Babers talked about he was an unbelievably good coach, but probably a better ambassador and person and father. He's got one of his grandsons on his staff, and Mackey's on the staff, played for him, and so great memories of Coach Mack.
The Orange wearing that patch throughout this season for Coach Mack. 31 yards away, Carson Wise, who is 2 for 2 in the game on field goal attempts. Wise, it is wide as it moves to the left.
That's why you burn those timeouts. Dino burned those timeouts, made sure they were dialed in, and ultimately got the miss. Gets in the kicker's head.
So that is a miss on his shortest attempt of the game.
See the patch on Dino David's shoulder. All the coaches wearing them this way. Coaches pure. The Duchenne muscular dystrophy, trying to raise money for that, fight that terrible disease. All the coaches come together hand in hand and wear that patch to make sure they raise awareness for that worthy cause.
The 10th year of Coach to Cure, and the 10,000 coaches they've nationwide participating in that initiative.
Yeah, and it means something to them. It's not just something, hey, you're going to wear this patch this week. All the coaches talk about it. It's a very important cause they've joined arm in arm with to try to help get after that disease.
Just 3 seconds to go.
This might be the longest 8 seconds we've ever had at the end of the half. You kidding me? Tom's got a brownie to eat. We need to get up to that food table.
It's got my name all over it, Dave. Dungy looking for Phillips. That's going to be the last play of this quarter as it's incomplete to Irvin Phillips. The Wolfpack with 350 total yards. They scored on every possession except the last one of the half when Wise missed that 21-yard field goal. So they will take the 26-7 lead to the locker room, and we're going down to DJ.
Coach, offensively in the first half, you've been really successful. 5 out of 6 drives, 1 for a touchdown. What was the key to your success in the first half?
Just staying on the field, you know, getting first downs. I think we're knocking them off the ball pretty good. And they did a good job early on, overloading one side. And I thought the coaches did a nice job adjusting, getting some balls out the opposite side on the formations.
Defensively, you've done a good job. They moved the ball some, but you've limited Dungy. What part of the game plan have you liked defensively from your squad?
Our corners are playing well, and that's where they usually take advantage of you. They're picking on us a little bit in the slots right now, so we've got to get some adjustments at halftime there. But they're going to get yards. I mean, that's what they do. We just can't give them touchdowns.
All right, Coach, thank you. Have a good second. Big first half there for NC State. Katie, they got to get it going because Syracuse is a very good offense. Up by 19, NC State. You guys have a good one in the studio.
Thank you, DJ, as we welcome you back into our Charlotte studios. Guys, just your reaction overall in this first half.
For me, it was the effort of Syracuse. Even without Kendall Moorhead, their best edge player not being there, they were still able to get a little bit of production from that defensive front. Zaire Franklin, their second leading tackle, went out a little bit due to injury, but returned. But overall, the defensive effort has been all right.
What about Dave Doran mentioned he mentioned staying on the field. How long did they stay on the field? What about 20 minutes of time possession to 10 for Syracuse? And then Steve Ishmael, who leads the ACC in receptions first half, has 1. Good job, NC State.
All right, we're going to talk about this one in depth coming up later on in our halftime show. Next, we're going to check in on the Coastal Division. We've seen a lot of action, and this was one of the good ones. Ryan Finley to Stephen Lewis. We're going to dive into it coming up next. NC State hosting Syracuse. Potential trap game is what I'm thinking for NC State coming into this one, but from what we've seen from them, it doesn't seem
Beautiful
like that.
ball, Eric Dungy. That's how they train it.
Here's Dungy right here, a 10-yard run. Dungy right now leading Syracuse with 25 yards. Here's a 10-yard run to put Syracuse in the end zone.
NC State coming back. Reggie Gillespie picks up this one.
Oh.
Yeah, you like that? 10 yards
yeah.
into the end zone.
Dap him up.
And then here comes Jalen Samuels.
He's sweet.
So versatile.
Ooh,
the
good
ways
block
in which
on the
you
edge.
can use this guy. He gets
knows.
in there.
I'm just a better
makes
athlete.
26-7. When you look at this one, guys, is there one thing in particular that's been the most impressive?
To me, it's been NC State's ability to hold Syracuse, make them one-dimensional. 25 yards rushing total for Syracuse. Eric Dungy, the quarterback, has 10 of those. And then Steve Ishmael, who came into the game leading the ACC in receptions, I think, with 11. He only has 1 this game. They've got to find some way to give him more touches.
And he didn't get that one catch until moments before halftime.
crazy.
What stood up for you, Stan?
Well, it's about Ryan Finley, and I called him Eric Dungy, my mistake on that. But Ryan Finley is playing exceptional. He's not turning the football over. He's at about 63%, which is down from his 74% coming into today. He's not turning the ball over. He's executing the offense. He's poised. He's an upperclassman. He's just got this offense rolling, and the defense is kind of like just having a field day, Coach. They're so relaxed. Chubb and the boys can just go play.
You're talking Ryan Finley. We talk quarterbacks. We mentioned Eric Dungy. Let's watch him one more time, because did you see this little fancy footwork spinning around Second half adjustments from Coach and Stan coming up after this local break. Geico presents the best of the ACC. The reigning Heisman winner leading the charge through the air.
LaMarvelous has pre-stats just like he did last year at the beginning of the year. If they can just keep winning, only have one loss.
What about the other side of the ball, Stan?
Well, there's a young man that I'm kind of familiar with that's operating pretty effectively at an institution I'm pretty familiar with. There's 5'3". Do what you do in that orange and blue, young man. Leading the ACC in total tackles there. Also doing his things as a pass rusher with sacks. This guy right here, I think, might be the most underrated defender in all of the ACC. Balls, and has been doing it for the last 3 seasons.
All right, guys, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to hear second half adjustments from you guys. Coach, if you're Dino Babers, what do you do?
Don't give up yet, because you run the type of offense that can score points fast. It's a fast-paced offense. Your players know how to do it. If you have to throw the ball every snap, that's what you're good at. That's what your players want to do. Don't give up on the run. After about the 2 or 3 series, you're going to have to.
I'm supposed to be PC here. Listen, this thing is over. Coach Babers, run your offense, and that's fine. But the bottom line is you're going to have to pass to get back in this, and that plays exactly to what Chubb and Kentavious Sweat and those guys do on the defensive front of NC State. If they let Chubb and those guys get lubed up and get rolling, they can't pass.
Is this really over?
No. Not this type of offense.
You know, he's got to say that.
If it was Georgia Tech offense, yes.
It is only halftime. Third quarter action coming up next.
First half belonged to NC State in this matchup against the Syracuse Orange. Tom and Dave with you here at halftime. We touched on Jalen Samuels prior to the start of the game, Dave. We need to identify where he is. That's what Syracuse needs to do, too, in the second half.
Well, he never disappoints, and this time it's been more about his ability to run the football in the first half. 5 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown for Jalen Samuels. But his ability to run after the catch, you'll see it very evident in this category. A lot of times they talk about Samuels as a receiver and those type of things. This has just been pure hand the football to their talented 215-pounder and let him make plays. And nothing was more evident than this play right here, where he got 3 key blocks and then a big-time stiff arm as he backs into the end zone for the touchdown. He has been tough to find. And we talked about where to find him. Well, we put our GPS on him, and he's been in 3 different positions, and it's been really tough to handle. Let's go down and catch up with DJ, who caught up with Dino Babers.
Coach, 25 rushing yards in the first half. Obviously, I know it's something you want to do better at. What do you have to do to get this offense kickstarted in the second half?
We got to start getting some first downs. I mean, we're moving the ball, but obviously we're not getting enough big plays. And we got to get in the battle in the trenches. Those guys are big physical guys. We've gone against people like that again. Hell, they're punching us. We need to punch them back.
Offensively, they did a good job of scoring 5 out of 6 drives. What has to happen from an execution standpoint defensively for you guys to slow them down?
Well, we've got to separate from those guys. There's a lot of tugging going on, but if we're not fighting, those guys can't see it. We need to come back. We got to make plays. We got to get our turnovers. We've had opportunities, and we're not doing it.
All right, Coach, have a good one.
There's 2 halves to execution, okay? This is the second half.
Absolutely. Big second half coming up. Syracuse has to get going. We know this game's far from over. Syracuse has the opportunity to score and get the ball in first off the second half kick.
DJ, they will return it with Riley. And he's smothered at the 21 or 2.
Well, Tom, I sense that that was an upset Dino Babers, matter of factly, too, that they have not done enough on offense. 1.6 yards per play just isn't going to get it. Here's the Dungy. Dungy's a big-time player, but NC State forced him into some uncomfortable situations. The interception, this is a big part of what he does. He came in the leading rusher for the Orange, but just not enough room to operate. This was the one shining moment for Syracuse in the first half, was the Dungy touchdown run.
Dungy will throw on the run near the 30 and complete. That's Steve Ishmael, a player they certainly want to get involved in the offense here in the second half as he comes up just shy of the marker.
You know, I thought that it was very poignant comment that Dino Babers made. There are 2 halves to a football game. his team is going to come out and execute as best they can and try to change the flavor of this game.
Dungy up to the 45, and it's Ishmael again.
Let's see if they can get into their tempo, Tom. This is where they get that turbo tempo going. 2 good throws to start the half for Dungy. Here's one on the move through the eye of a needle right there for a first down.
They got 18 yards on that previous play from their own 49. Dungy shovels it forward. It goes nowhere. Dante Strickland forced backward in a loss on the play. He lost 3.
Yeah, Justin Jones, one of those talented defensive tackles in the middle, makes the play. And this is where kind of Syracuse has lived here in the first half, or now that we're in the second half, is this second and third and long situations.
Dungy dumps it off, incomplete. It was Dante Strickland on 2nd and 13, so 3rd and long.
Just hard to convert and stay on the field. Syracuse really struggled in the first half to stay on the field. Just 8 first downs in the first half to 21 for NC State.
3 of 7 on 3rd down for the Orange in the game. They have struggled in this situation, though. They have averaged 3rd and 10 for the ball game. And this is more than that. Phillips breaks a tackle at midfield. Phillips looks like he's going to come up a couple yards short, Dave, as Jones and Moorhead combine on the stop after 10 yards.
Yeah, and I think you go for it, Tom. I think there was a thought in the locker room for Dino Babers. We're going to come out aggressively. We're going to execute differently in the second half. We can change the game, and a lot rides on it right here. I think that the message he delivered at halftime, a lot rides on this play right here.
1 for 2 on 3rd down in the game for the Orange, on 4th down rather. This is 4th and 2.
Showing press coverage along the edges by NC State.
Dungy behind the defender and complete inside the 30. Racing to the 20. Cutting back is Ishmael. And down to the 5.
Back shoulder throw. Bump and run coverage on the outside on the big timer. Ishmael hasn't done anything in the game. Well, he's going to do something in the second half in his mind. Excellent throw by Dungy on the target. Big play.
1st and goal Orange. Strickland lowers the helmet down to about the 2-yard line.
Tom, think about the fire that Dino Babers just spoke to DJ Shockley with when he came out of the locker room. His team is absorbed that, and they're trying to react to it the right way right here.
Trying to take it into the end zone with Strickland coming up a little bit short on that rush on 2nd and goal.
This has got to be a moment where NC State's got to be concentrating on number 2. Dungy's their leading rusher. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns on the year, has 1 in this game.
To the goal line. Looked like Dungy hung on to it, Dave.
Yeah, just a follow play, Tom. Got Strickland out in front and followed him into the end zone.
2nd rushing touchdown of the game. Eric Dungy in Syracuse takes the opening kickoff and marches down the field.
You talk about, converting on 4th down, but you talk about the flavor you come out of the locker room with. Your coach just delivered a fire and brimstone type speech at halftime, was still fired up when he talked to our DJ Shockley on the sideline, and his offense answered the call.
Officially a 1-yard run for a touchdown for Dungy. Strickland led him into the end zone with the lead block.
Wow, impressive drive to open the half and set a different tone for the Syracuse Orange. Don't go anywhere. The Orange are back in the ball game.
ACC football is brought to you by Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Mattress Firm. And by Bojangles. It's bow time.
Newly refurbished Reynolds Coliseum, home of the women's basketball program right now. Kay Yao, the legendary basketball coach, with a statue out in front of the building, along with Everett Case. For the men's program, and Jimmy V 1983 National Championship. Part of the history and tradition here at NC State, the football team trying to build on their win last week against Florida State, but Syracuse comes out of the locker room and scores, Dave, on a 9-play drive.
Well, their coach's hair was on fire when he talked to DJ Shockley, and his offense responded. Nine plays, 78 yards, big plays in the drive. And what they did, Tom, is they got up to their tempo. Under 3 minutes, the tempo was where they wanted it. It didn't allow NC State to substitute on defense. And subsequently, they shoved it in the end zone with Dungy.
78 yards, just under 3 minutes. 2:56 on that drive to open up the third quarter. Hines on the carry. Beyond the 20, 3 yards.
Came with a run blitz right there to try to stop this run game. 182 yards on the ground in the first half for NC State. Average 7.6 yards a carry. That's the #1 thing they've got to get taken care of defensively, is that stop the run game. Little run blitz there, meaning they were bringing extra players to the dance. Some linebackers coming at the snap.
Ryan Finley with 14 of 22 attempts, 141 yards and a touchdown pass. That to Steph Lewis in the first quarter. This is Lewis. Looks like he got enough for a first down there at the 30.
Yeah, just a simple little screen to the outside, and he just kind of got in behind some other players, and kind of a rugby scrum here as he gets upfield and gets a first down.
8 yards on the play from Steph Lewis.
How about this big package in the game? A couple tight ends in the game. Haven't seen this from NC State yet.
Finley got rid of it. Too high for the intended receiver. Looked like Kelvin Harmon there, but the rush came from the orange.
Yeah, Zaire Franklin's going to get in on the quarterback again. The linebacker in on the rush. And this was a play where he just sped up his thought process. Little play fake. He's looking for a shot down the field, and here comes Zaire Franklin clean through the middle. And Finley said, wait a minute, I got to get it out of here. And just airmailed the throw.
Sandwiched between Franklin and Robinson. Zaire Franklin had to leave the game in the first half. Good to see him back in the lineup for the Orange. Came back late in the second half. Senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, directing a little traffic pre-snap. And the Orange again with a tackle on Nyheim Hines, and look who it is, Zaire Franklin.
Yeah, there's an attitude about not wanting to be blocked. Zaire Franklin there. Let's take a look at Nyheim Hines, who's been really good here in the first half. They've given him the ball on the jet sweep from the I formation, every place you could possibly get him. That little wing there limped off. Whatever it takes to get you back in the game. Hydrating, riding the bike. He's back in there running it again.
14 carries, 96 yards in the game. Nyheim Hines, 3rd and 8 for the Pack. Just over 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Finley with a release. Steph Lewis had it escape his grasp. Bradshaw right behind him for the Orange. Fourth down.
Well, good route by Lewis. He's going to push off, get the corner, turn his hips, and run. Now the ball comes back down the stem. Ball right on the money. Last part of it is you got to squeeze it. And the senior doesn't do that. And to get back in the game, which Syracuse is trying to do, climb back in here after that opening drive touchdown here in the second half, is you have to have some breaks like that. Lewis flat dropped that ball.
First punt of the game for NC State. A.J. Cole. This bounces at the 28-yard line. Oh, that's an NC State roll. Down to the 5, down to the 4, and down to the 3.5. 60-yard punt from A.J. Cole. Grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy our second half here on the ACC Network. 26-14. The Pack with the lead. The Orange with the football deep in their own territory. Dungy from his own end zone. Incomplete.
That was supposed to be an easy throw and catch. Why you call that down when you're backed up. You're looking to gain a little bit of room, and Dungy just wide with the throw. Tom, the touchdown that Syracuse had in that last drive to start the second half,
That's 4 out of 5 games. They've opened the second half up with a touchdown drive. And this is an NC State team that's only given up 28 points in the entire second half in 4 games.
That ball was on the turf for a moment for Dungy, being chased by Chubb, who throws a low pass at the 10. Scooped up by Phillips.
Now Chubb is hunting. Does a good job of getting around the tackle. Dungy fumbled the football. Be able to pick it up. Conway was anticipating that ball coming out a little quicker.
3rd and 4 for the Orange. Nose of the football at the 10-yard line.
Phillips in the slot right down here. He's been the problem for NC State.
Dungy looked his way, back the other direction near the 20, and incomplete. Ishmael in the vicinity. 4th down, Orange.
Just kind of got rushed a little bit there, Tom. I think he wanted to set his feet and try to survey a little bit. And he's having a conversation with somebody coming off the field. You see him barking at one of his receivers. It looks like maybe, can't tell who that was, but he didn't get what he wanted out of that front side of the route and had to come backside and rushed it incomplete.
Hofrichter will punt from the back of his own end zone. Hines. Fair catch. Signaled and made at the 47-yard line. Hang time almost 5 seconds. Let's check in with Katie Witham in our Charlotte studio.
Let's head to Atlanta for our Hardee's update.
Daquan Marshall in the red zone. A double cut move by Ricky June, post corner.
A 12-yard touchdown. That put them up 24-0. They've added a field goal. 27-0 Georgia Tech on top of North Carolina.
Daquan Marshall over 100. Daquan Marshall over 100 yards rushing in that game. When you get that ground attack going, it's hard to cover June on the outside one-on-one, the big receiver for Tech.
Not surprisingly, Georgia Tech, the #1 rushing attack in all of the nation. We saw Daquan Marshall last week in a winning effort against the Pittsburgh Panthers, who are leading Rice in their game this afternoon. To the right side in Gillespie, he's into Orange territory. 5 yards on the play, DJ Shockley.
What's up, fellas? Hey, guys, I got something interesting. Eli Drinkley was the offensive coordinator for NC State. He talked about it as a 3-step process for his quarterback to line of scrimmage, which is the first one is the quickest throw, find your quickest throw. Second, what's your yes or no? Do you have free access? Do you have the free access to throw the slant or the hitch? And then what's your plan if they change coverage? This all happens in 2 or 3 seconds up there with Carter-Finley.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, and he and Drinkowitz, the offensive coordinator, he and Finley are in lockstep with what they're doing. But it's you have to have a process as a quarterback. You just can't go out there and wing it. There's got to be some idea what you want to do every snap. And Shock talked about it right there. I think Finley's done a great job of absorbing that. He knows his teammates far better than he did a year ago after arriving late from Boise State. But he's got a big 3rd down right here to try to keep Syracuse's offense off the field.
Lost 2 on the previous play, 3rd and 7 from right at midfield for NC State. Finley, touch on that pass, down near the 20 and incomplete. Kelvin Harmon could not haul it in.
I'll tell you what, this kid Frederick, the corner, has really played well. NC State receiver still on the ground here. This is Harmon.
Harmon did, yes.
Yeah, and Frederick right there. This is a nice battle, but he falls on his shoulder. And you hate those because all that weight coming down on the shoulder here for Harmon. Right on the shoulder tip. But talking about Frederick in coverage there, does an excellent job. But Harmon, the biggest concern right now for NC State.
Just 1 catch in the game for Harmon so far. Started the season with 2 games in a row over 100 yards receiving. The first NC State receiver to do that since 2000.
Well, I'm not going to speculate on the injury, but that's one that I've seen a lot over the years of playing and watching football.
Harmon being helped up by the training staff, and you can see grabbing towards that right shoulder, Dave.
And I see him move that around. Shock, this Syracuse defense come up with stops here in the second half.
big stops here in the second half just to keep their offense. And you talked about it. Coach Babers was fired up when he came out. But we talked about the challenging routes. That's something that defensive coordinator Brian Ward always talks about. We can get out of position at times, but we have to make sure we get back in position and then challenge the route at the end of it, just like Frederick did to get that incompletion.
And Shock, that's their first 3 and out. Came in leading the country in 3 and outs. They get a 3 and out there to get Dungy the ball back.
Ishmael, the deep man, but this one's going to sail out of bounds. Near the 11 or so. That's where they'll mark it. 1st and 10 for the Orange after a 39-yard punt from Cole. 26-14, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Hey fans, the ACC VR app is now loaded with 360 videos from your favorite football stadiums, courtesy of Haviland. Take you on the field, in the locker room, running into Memorial Stadium with the Tigers. It's all there. Want to be that close to the action at the Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship? Haviland giving you a chance with their 360 Experience Sweepstakes. Enter at accsweeps.havilandpromotions.com. Back to reality, and that pass is complete. Pierce, and he submarines at the 20. And Ravion Pierce stayed for 10 yards.
Good quick play fake there by Dungy. Got it out there. Good first down play.
Here's our cookout fast fact. As Dungy runs it up the middle. Justin Jones with the tackle after a 2-yard gain with just over 7 minutes to go in our 3rd quarter. Here's the fast fact, Dave, brought to you by Cookout.
The first down plays. Of course, this is the first time I've seen this, so I'm going to read it with you. Gone for no yards. It's been a tough day, tough sledding for
false start.
Syracuse today.
Number 6, offense. He was never set for 1 second prior to the snap.
But with all these
5-yard penalty. First down.
Thank you. But for all these things that are going on with the numbers that aren't matching up for Syracuse and saying that they're doing a lot on offense, they're sitting here in a position where if they can get this drive going, this game is there for the taking for Syracuse, okay? They still have an opportunity with all the numbers we keep throwing up about how bad they were in the first half.
The Orange has been dominated in the series. They trailed 9-1 in 10 previous meetings with NC State. Dungy's pass is behind Phillips, adjusting to the football, and he made the catch just shy of the 25-yard line.
See, that's a classic case where that time Phillips didn't necessarily see the coverage. His zone, Dungy sees it. He's trying to stop him with the ball. Phillips didn't read it. He's coming back to the inside. Probably fortunate that they were able to connect right there.
11 catches for 129 yards for Phillips. This is a run, and it produces negative yardage for Dante Strickland.
Yeah, and I think that run was specifically designed to keep them in a 3rd and manageable situation. But here comes NC State defensively. Came in with 25 tackles for loss coming into the game, and there's another one. Now 3rd and long again for Syracuse.
Tremendous play by Jermaine Pratt, number 3 in gray and white and red. Dungy with the time of the poise. First down toss beyond the 35. Irvin Phillips.
Well, Phillips doing an excellent job of working the interior of this defense. Zone coverage just makes a little outbreak and then breaks over the middle. The safety's too late to get there.
17 yards on the previous play. Dungy through the progression. Looks like Phillips did not catch that football. Official ran up to it as if he was going to mark it there, and then
Phillips is pretty adamant about that. He got his arms under it.
The official's still standing right where it would be marked had it been a catch.
Remember, all plays are reviewed. College football. This would be a good look.
Yeah, real good look. I think you might have an argument there for Phillips.
Yeah, I think his arms are underneath the ball. They're going to take an additional look at this, a little bit longer look.
Absolutely. Now, if it stands, Phillips would be at a career-high 146 yards receiving for this game. And based on the replays we saw, there's a good chance that it may be overturned because the call on the field, I saw the official go to the spot, Dave, but go like...
Well, you had one official that marked it as a catch, and the official that was further down the sideline came in and waved it off. So the official that was the closest to the play called it a catch. And Phillips was adamant about it. He had gotten his arms underneath the ball. It was a little underthrown. find out if the adrenaline was flowing on Phillips and he just thought he caught it, or whether video will back it up. And certainly from what we saw, it looked like he had his arms under the ball.
Larry Malum is our replay official. Our referee today is Gary Patterson, who will have the official word pending.
Tom, the one guy that NC State really hadn't had an answer for has been Phillips. The numbers reflect that. Almost 150 yards receiving. It's been the one guy that's been able to read coverage and been on the same page with Dungy, the quarterback.
Phillips with 12 catches in the game, Dave, 146 yards. That is a career high.
Well, who was the guy that Dave Dorn mentioned to DJ Shockley on the way to the locker room? He said, hey, we're having a tough time covering a guy in the slot. We're going to have to make some adjustments. And that was Irvin Phillips.
After review, replay has determined that there was a catch. It'll be second down, Syracuse at the 44-yard line. Catch, second down, 44-yard line.
So the player knew that he had to catch, and it's backed up by video.
So now that's 13 catches for Phillips and 151 yards.
Yeah, we've still got 5 minutes, over 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. You got to figure they're going to keep filling him up.
174 career catches now, second best score in history.
Man, say hello to
goodness. Strickland on the carry.
Roseboro. Goodness. Roseboro just up the field and a big hit right there on the jet sweep. A blown assignment up front not to block that guy.
Just for clarification's sake, Dave, Syracuse has two number 4s on offense. Strickland and Johnson. It was Johnson who had the last carry. This is the pass down the sideline near the 30. Ishmael went up to get it, and he got it at the 29.
Well, we've seen this guy make some catches over the last couple seasons. This would be right near the top. Watch him elevate and squeeze that with the defender right in his face, raking at the football. Big-time catch by the guy that leads the country in catches per game.
32 yards on that play, his 5th catch of the game. Down the sideline, and finally pushed out is Nykeem Johnson. He's the other number 4. He got 9 yards as he stepped out.
Little play fake, Dungy looking to run, and then the outlet is the little dump, just kind of a pitch play to the outside. Found some room along the sideline.
Johnson's a freshman from Washington, D.C. Now they're going to call that a pass from Dungy, so we'll keep an eye on that as it reflects in the statistics. Now Dungy spins away from pressure and throws it into the ground. Fernandez on the way, Dave.
Boy, and he's going to get potentially a roughing the passer call here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 4. Defense. After this into the goal. Automatic. First down.
Well, this is a hard one for Jared Fernandez, who gets called on this play because essentially Dungy's a runner in his mind, is running the ball, and then at the last second raises up and throws this. Let's see where the helmet's located on the hit. Oh, I don't agree with that at all. He's a runner at that point. I don't agree with that. That's a bad call. Not to mention that there's a clean hit. He hit him in the chest area.
From the 11 for the Orange. The penalty was half the distance to the goal. Chris Elmore on the carry, and Syracuse can get another first down at the 1-yard line.
That's the Syracuse trying to change what this game looks like right here. Drove for a touchdown to open up the half, and are now about to snap it for the 10th time in this drive to pull within a score.
2 for 3 in the red zone for the Orange this afternoon on 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Dungy gave it up. Down to the 8 for Chris Elmore, the freshman.
The big fella. It's his second carry, I believe, of the game. 10th on the year. Fans still upset over the roughing the passer call. I think they have a reason to be upset. All right, here's Irvin Phillips right here. He's been the guy that's been the problem for NC State.
3rd down, Dungy to the end zone. It's a touchdown, Syracuse, and there is a flag on the play. There is a flag behind the play.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield.
Wow.
5-yard
And this is a mistake you can't make. Your Butler on the outside is the guy that's going to get called for it. They have to have one man on the edge of the line of scrimmage. This guy right here has to be on the line of scrimmage. Phillips has been in the backfield all night. The reason this is a bad play is he gets to ask the official, am I on the line of scrimmage? Before the ball snapped, the official will give him, yes, a go-ahead, and he doesn't adjust. So really a poor mistake, a really bad mistake right there by Butler that takes away the touchdown.
And moves the football back to the 14 of NC State. We'll call it 3rd and 13 for Syracuse.
Phillips and Ishmael on the same side of the ball.
Can still get a first down at the 1-yard line. Dungy, collapsing pocket, cuts at the 15. Tries to get away from a couple of tacklers at the 5. And a flag comes out at the end of the play. They're factor at 2. One player lost his helmet.
It's another dumb play. Tom, he plays over, and the center comes in, Cervantes, and knocks one of the NC State players to the ground. It's going to be a 15-yarder against Syracuse.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 68, offense, 15-yard penalty from in the run. The down counts. Fourth down.
So that's Aaron Service, the center, who gets called for the personal foul there.
We see it at the end right here. This is a rough play. Dungy uses the stiff arm, knocks Jones's helmet off, and then he's laying on the ground. Service comes in. Watch for 68. Right on the left side of your screen. Left side of your screen. Right there. Just knocks Chubb to the ground. Now, nice job by Chubb to pick up the Academy Award right there. But
okay, so a little bit of feistiness now. Some Syracuse coaches are on the field trying to separate some of these players. There was a lot going on in the previous play, as we just showed you. There was a lot of talking between these two teams right now.
I think Syracuse, the big guys up front, reacting to what they felt like was maybe a little bit extra to their quarterback on the ground.
See Dave Doranday pointing at his head, right?
Don't do something stupid.
Be smart.
Do the things you're supposed to do. Just a couple of bad mistakes by Syracuse, so this is a one-score game.
Well, you see the emotion of this game. Bradley Chubb, defensive leader for NC State. The ball is now all the way back to the 20. The down counted, so it's 4th down and now a 38-yard field goal attempt. And before we can do that, whistles stop the play.
Well, the officials are trying to calm everybody down here. This is probably a good idea. Trying to talk to NC State a little bit, calm them down. Going to take a look. See, here's Chubb. Chubb comes in and kind of is raking at the ball. And Service took exception to that, the center. And just kind of pushed Chubb, and of course Chubb will be invited to Hollywood later on, or in February sometime for that effort.
Well, Dave, Syracuse came out of the locker room. They have made this game very interesting with that first drive. They took it in the end zone. Now they're trying to add 3 yards with a field goal. A 12-play drive of 69 yards for the Orange right now with 2:51 to go in the 3rd. They're checking on exactly where this ball should be spotted.
Yeah, where the end of the run was, and then the 15-yard penalty after that. But, boy, Dino Baber's team has fought and clawed and really had gotten back into the game, and they are in the game, but the opportunity to get that touchdown to Ishmael on a well-thrown ball by Dungy, and then to not be on the ball if you're the outside receiver, just an inexcusable mistake there, and then you get the 15-yarder on top of that.
So they want to make sure they get the spot correct. And Syracuse is going to attempt a field goal. It just depends on where it's going to be snapped from.
Ruling on the field stands. 4th down at the 20-yard line.
So Cole Murphy, as Dungy is on the sidelines now for the Orange, and a field goal attempt coming up. Murphy missed a 48-yard attempt in the first half. So Dungy's teammate Sterling Hoffrichter is going to attempt this field goal. He's number 35. He's attempted 2 field goals on the season, Dave. He made 1 from 27 yards away. So this, his 3rd attempt of the year. And this is going to be from 38 yards. Hofrichter, 38 yards away. It's good. A low line drive between the pipes for Hofrichter. And now more post-play discussion.
Well, this will continue to be an issue, Tom, now that we're at this point where how hot-headed some of these guys are. Which team or which coach can calm his players down?
A little bit of chatter between the two players. Bradley Chubb in there. 65 is Jamar McGloster. All right, let's just take a breather, step aside for a moment, and go back to Katie Witham in Charlotte.
Thanks, Tom. Let's head to Bobby Dodd for our Hardee's update.
Yeah, UNC has Michael Jordan. That's Matthew Jordan for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets getting in the end zone. Good to see him in the game.
33-7, the final in Atlanta.
Wow, heck of an effort by the Georgia Tech defense. Ted Roos' crew limiting a beat-up and injury-riddled North Carolina team. Boy, they got a lot of guys in the injury list there. And playing the young quarterback, Chaz Surratt.
Georgia Tech Dave is now 3-1 on the season. Their only loss was the first week of the season against Tennessee, 42-41 in double overtime. Hines runs up to the 15. Dragged down beyond the 25 to the 28-yard line. Fans, picture yourself at the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship. Mellow Mushroom giving you the opportunity to be there. Visit mellowmushroom.com/ACC to enter for your chance to win the Mellow Mushroom VIP sweepstakes.
Well, Tom, this is an NC State offense that had 21 first downs in the first half, and they've got to get going.
Ryan Finley back on the field for NC State. Our 1st and 10 line presented by Cookout, serving fresh char-grilled hamburgers and 40 fancy milkshakes.
350 yards of offense in the first half. They've struggled here in the second half.
Finley's pass to Samuels will be a short gain of 2.
Zaire Franklin, we talked about, went down in the first half, was banged up, missed a series or 2, and then came back, and he has been a force here in the second half.
Approaching 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, which has belonged to the Orange. They've scored on 2 drives, a touchdown to start the quarter, and just moments ago, a field goal from Sterling Hofrichter. Hines into the pile. 4 yards. All right, let's head down to DJ Shockley for Gatorade. Heard around the cooler.
Fellas, defensive line coach David Patrick just was imploring to his whole defense, we are so much better than that. They are trying to get back in the game. We cannot lose our cool. All the jaw-jacking is for nothing. Keep your cool, we're up, and make sure you play your part and continue to strive for greatness out there. That's all he mentioned, and these guys responded.
Yeah, coach is trying to keep everybody calm in this time of anxiety. Here's Samuels right here.
2 for 7 on 3rd down. This pass deflected away near the 40 and incomplete. Looking for Kelvin Harmon. Frederick makes the play, Dave.
Tom, I like this kid, Frederick. He has been right in the face of the receiver that's been lined up over him the whole game. He has made a ton of plays, the sophomore. Conley, Georgia, huh? How about that?
They just
playing for Syracuse. I like it.
Just 1 first down for NC State in this third quarter.
Yeah, they really turned it up. You heard Dino Babers coming out. It's hard not to respond to a coach just like that. 2nd 3 and out in a row.
Riley fields it at the 13. Slips down at the 10. 53 yards on the punt by Cole. And a -3 on the return. And now there's a flag on the field. There is a penalty marker, center of the field, 33-yard line.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 13, North Carolina State. 15 yards from the end of the kick. That's number 13's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
All right, let's check in with Katie in Charlotte.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us to Heinz Field, where it is a final. Max Brown finds Chris Clark. That's a 7-yarder. 42-10, the final. Max Brown found 10 different receivers, guys.
Pittsburgh back on track with that victory after a loss at Georgia Tech a week ago for Pat Narduzzi. Steve Ishmael's gotten involved in the second half, Dave.
He really has. He didn't do anything in the first half. Was limited, but 5 catches now, 110 yards, and that guy that's leading the country in receptions per game has surfaced here in the second half.
Dungy rolls that pocket to the right. Dungy turns upfield at the 30, out of bounds at about the 34-yard line as Darian Roseborough able to track him down after a 9-yard run for Dungy.
Boy, a long way to go for Roseborough to make that play. Dungy gets 9 yards on that good first down play, but you got to be winded up front now if you're NC State, and immediately back at the attack is Dungy.
Chris Elmore. Enough for a first down. A 2-yard pickup for Elmore. So that'll move the chains.
Elmore 280 pounds.
Dave, I got to ask you, what do you think Dino Babers had to say to his team at halftime? Because whatever it is, they've responded in the second half.
Well, I think it was very much what he told DJ Shockley. Hey, there's 2 halves to this game, and we can execute at our level. We can climb right back into the game. Now, he said it a little more animated than I just did. Good pressure there by Bradley Chubb. And I'm not sure that's not, I mean, he's not out of the box. The crowd wants grounding. There's a conversation happening right now. Chubb going to get in the face. And I don't think he necessarily was out of the tackle area, was he? Because the ball was sailed into the bench.
In addition to that, it has to go back across the original line of scrimmage.
I think he did that. Okay. Yeah, he just wasn't out of the box.
Intentional grounding. Number 2, offense. He's in the pocket, no eligible receiver in the area. The penalty is lost him down at the spot of the pass.
I don't think Dino Babers agrees with that assessment, but here it is, supported by video replay.
Let's see if he gets outside this area right here. No, he's not nowhere near outside the box, so it's a good call. And Coach Babers is upset with the call, and I try to protect his quarterback, but to have a receiver in that area, he'd have been standing over near DJ during the Gatorade report.
9th penalty of the game for the Orange. And that brings the football back to the Syracuse 25-yard line, rather. They lost 11. Final seconds of this quarter. Dungy hit as he throws, and incomplete. There is a flag on the field. Chubb right in the grill of Dungy. And the penalty goes against the Orange.
Holding. 68 offense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Boy, things are starting to come unraveled, and this drive had a potential short field opportunity, and now Syracuse backed up, and the quarterback takes a huge shot from Bradley Chubb right there. Chubb. Insult to injury, you throw a holding penalty on top of that.
Chubb credited with 1 sack so far in our game, but several pressures.
Well, you got to be careful your Dungy right here. This is game still in doubt. He's got to take care of the ball right here on 3rd and long.
6 of 13 in 3rd down situations. Dungy trying to run away from that pocket. Trying to execute the stiff arm on Fernandez. B.J. Hill pulls him down, and it's the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Emotion starting to flare. This is ACC play. NC State trying to defend their home field. Syracuse trying to take their lunch.
Our 3rd quarter stats are brought to you by Flonase Sensimist.
Yeah, both teams have been pretty good in the red zone, Tom, and they've been given the opportunities. And how about how Syracuse has stormed back in this game and given themselves an opportunity. Just 1 first down for NC State after 21 in the first half.
Hofrichter is back to punt.
24. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Penalty against the Orange. On this first play of the 4th quarter. That's the 10th against Syracuse. Hofrichter punting. He converted that 38-yard field goal attempt in the 3rd quarter, late in that quarter, where Syracuse outscored NC State 10-0. Fair catch for Hines at the 35. It's a 40-yard punt with just over 4 seconds of hang time.
Tom, this team needed to rally offensively and defensively. Saw the offense answer. Well, the defense did as well, limiting this NC State offense, who had 350 in the first half, to just 23 yards in the third quarter and 1 first down. Excellent job of answering the call by the Orange defense.
Wolfpack did not punt in the first half. Had a missed field goal. That's the only time they possessed the football and did not score in the first half. Hines the back behind Finley. Ryan Finley to Samuels.
Wow, how well defended was that? Number of options here. You had the belly play to the inside to Hines, then you had the quarterback run, and then the throw to Samuels on the outside, and Syracuse took it all away. Excellent job of defending that. And who is it on the outside again? Frederick. Boy, that kid has been everywhere defensively at the corner spot.
2nd and 9. Finley wants to get things moving.
Safety creeping up, bluffing blitz. They look to the sideline, changing things to the line of scrimmage. See if they still willing to come with Martin, the safety. He's still coming.
Handoff. Hines towards midfield. Let up for a first down. He got 14 on the rush. Evan Foster took him to the turf.
Ran away from they changed the play, ran away from the safety blitz. Hines got in that little crease. Big game.
Foster took most of the impact as Hines was barreling up the middle. Took it to the 49 of NC State for a first down. He's over 100 yards rushing. 109 for Hines at NC State. 1st and 10 pack. Hines cannot get away from Zaire Franklin, number 4.
Well, NC State, Tom, has had success running the ball against the umbrella look, which means it's 2 deep safeties and corners. That's 4 defenders removed from the run game in the box. What's happening now, if you watch the game, is Syracuse is creeping one of their safeties down in the box. They're trying to put 8 men in there to stop the run or put NC State in some 2nd and 3rd long situations. That time, the 8th man in the box is the guy that made the play, and it's now at 2nd and long.
This is the ACC Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, DJ Shockley on the sidelines. Executive producer Rob Reichley. Director Roy Alfers, and that one's incomplete.
Well, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that. It looked like Jalen Samuels potentially on a screen to the wide side, but just nothing going. And Finley just threw the ball on the ground. And now an opportunity here for Syracuse to get off the field again on 3rd down. The 3rd down conversions. 2 for 8 for NC State.
We get a look at Jalen Samuels, number 1. It's a 4-receiver set for Finley. Gillespie the back. Finley gets away from that pocket. Diving for the 40-yard line. Is he close enough? It looks like Finley has enough for a first down for NC State as he ran for 10.
A back-breaking play for Syracuse. This is really well covered for the most part. Nothing available for Finley, so he puts it down and goes right where the sticks are and dives for a first down. Excellent job by the veteran quarterback. Kickstart his offense. Really haven't done much here in the 2nd half. We talked about just 23 yards in the 3rd quarter.
Quick look. Harmon got away from 1 man. We're down to the 30 for Kelvin Harmon. Jordan Martin met him there at the 30. It's going to be another 10-yard pickup. The sticks are moving.
Right. We talk about Samuels with the ball in his hand. Here he is, the blocker. Chops down Jonathan Thomas, the linebacker, and right in behind running with football up for a first down. Nice job by Jalen. He affects the game in so many different ways.
Now inside of 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 26-17. NC State with the lead. Just a yard for Gillespie.
Much more success for Syracuse when you start talking about their defensive front. Go ahead and run it, guys. You got 8 men in the, I see the extra defender creeping in from that right side of your screen. They're trying to put North Carolina State in more uncomfortable situations on 2nd and 3rd down. They've had so much success running the football, but Syracuse much better here in the second half.
NC State has won 3 in a row in this series. That includes 2014, a win at the Dome for Dave Doran, his first in the ACC. Flags are out on this play.
Offside. Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
The word from Gary Patterson is Harmon being taken to the locker room. The sophomore receiver.
Yeah, fell on the shoulder as he was trying to elevate for a pass. It was batted away. Fell on that right shoulder.
11 penalties against the Orange for 88 yards. 2nd and 4. Samuels down to the 20. That's very close to the 1st down marker. Jonathan Thomas on the tackle, and 4 yards Jalen Samuels, and it is indeed a 1st down.
And you get the aid of the mistake. You had the offside penalty, which gave him a free 5 yards. Syracuse trying to get off the field defensively. 8 plays now coming up in the drive. And more importantly, probably for Syracuse, as the clock continues to move.
Out of the flat, Samuels got away from a couple of Orange defenders down toward the goal line, reached the ball toward the pylon and went out at the 1. That's a 19-yard play. Samuels,
well,
he wants a TD, did.
Yeah, he didn't think he stepped out of bounds. Just a quick screen to the outside. There's no blocking. 1, 2 guys miss. You're going to get a 3rd miss right there. See if he steps out at the 1. He did. Good job by the official. Marked it right at the 1-yard line before he extended the ball over the pylon, just inside the pylon.
Foster just barely pushed him out of bounds. 4 of 5 in the red zone today for NC State. Spinning at the goal line, Nyheim Hines in for the touchdown from a yard out as he salutes the crowd.
Boy, a big drive for NC State when they really needed one. They had been pretty much shut down here in the second half, but to open up here the 3rd quarter, they go on a lengthy drive, and it's capped off by this run by Hines right through the middle. Got a block on Jonathan Thomas, the linebacker, 23, and he stepped right in behind that block for the touchdown.
3rd rushing TD of the season, Nyheim Hines. And now Wise for the extra point.
Well, NC State needed some momentum offensively. Hines and Samuels provided. 5-minute drive. State leads.
ACC football is brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By your local Chevy dealers. By Haviland Motor Oil, official motor oil of the ACC. Keep going. And by Mellow Mushroom, out-of-this-world pizza.
Military Appreciation Day, and the tug-of-war between Syracuse and NC State continues from Carter-Finley Stadium, their 11th all-time meeting between the teams. We certainly salute all of the women and men of our military, and especially those represented today here at Carter-Finley Stadium.
10-play drive and ate up 5 minutes off the clock. It's huge for Syracuse and for NC State. They didn't have any offense here in the second half.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Nyheim Hines. This is a little short kick at the 32. Syracuse going to end up in pretty good field position at the 45 on a 12-yard return by Andrew Armstrong. Let's go to our Charlotte studio.
Our Hardee's update takes us to BC.
There's Anthony Brown on the rollout, finding running back Raleigh Hilleman coming out of the backfield for a touchdown. Good to see him get in the end zone. 3 on the day. Only came into this game with 1 all season.
Love seeing John Hilleman. 28-8. BC's on top.
This video really likes Hilleman, don't they? It's good to see Hilleman back on the field. I agree with Dan. He's been banged up in his career. He's an outstanding back. Obviously having a huge day today for BC.
Boston College has lost 3 in a row after beating Northern Illinois in week 1 of the season. That'll be Phillips. First down yardage to the 43-yard line. He got 12 before Sean Boone made the tackle for NC State. Eric Dungey, 8 times 300 yards passing, a school record, breaking that of Ryan Nassib. Let's check in with DJ.
Dave Huxtable, the defensive coordinator, we asked him earlier this week, we said, Coach, how do you go about calling plays when you have this fast tempo? He said, Shock, the only bad pay is a late call.
Yeah, just get, that's why in Shock, that's a good point. He's got Jared Fernandez dialed in. If they're having a tough time getting a play call in.
Snap infraction, number 68, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
This is a veteran defense in the inner part of this, and Shockley talked about it, how much these guys have played together. Fernandez has got that call in his hip pocket. If things start to boil down, they don't have a call in, he can make a call himself.
First ACC game of the season for the Orange. They're 1-3 in their previous 4 conference openers. That win for Syracuse came back in 2015 at home against Wake Forest. First time they've opened the ACC season away from the Carrier Dome. From midfield, Dungey cuts at the 45 and dives down to the 42. Fernandez was waiting for him. No gain.
Yeah, and almost spying him right there was Fernandez, Tom. They're very aware and respect Eric Dungey to the highest degree, and they've got a couple defenders eyeballing him. When he starts to skate out, somebody's tracking him all the way.
NC State, yeah, they won it 35-20 last year. As Dave mentioned, a flag came out. Phillips couldn't handle the pass. Fernandez defending, but there is a marker on the field.
Offside, defense, number 27, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Boy, Dave Dorn is livid with his defensive front. Feels like a little bit lackadaisical on that defensive line to be drawn off of that hard counter. He is on him.
Justin Jones, number 27 on that line. And now 3rd and 4 for the Orange. They need to get to the 33-yard line of NC State. Dungey may have been deflected coming out of that pocket.
Yeah, it looked like he got either run into or the ball was tipped, Tom.
Contavious Street might have got a piece of that one.
See if we can see whether there's collapsing the pocket down on top of him. He got run into with the pressure at the top.
Orange not shy about going forward on 4th down. They are 2 for 3 in the game on 4th down. This could be the game right here with just over 8 minutes to go. And trailing 33-17, it's Dungey taking off. Dungey has the first down. Down to the 20 for Dungey. Tries to get by a man at the 15, and he's stuck cold after a 22-yard gain.
That quarterback draw all the way for Dungey on 4th and about 4 or 5. Came in their leading rusher. Sees it all the way. Gets a good block from Elmore out in front. That was all he needed, was just a hat on that inside defender. First down, Eric Dungey.
Alston had to make the tackle. 3 for 4 on 4th down in the game for Dino Babers in the Orange. Dungey with a quick trigger, and it's incomplete near the 10-yard line. Looking for Devin C. Butler. There's a Devin Butler on offense and defense for the Orange. Our 1st and 10 line presented by Cookout, serving fresh char-grilled hamburgers and 40 fancy milkshakes.
That's a burger place for you when you have a milkshake. Okay, just want you to know that. My book.
I have a feeling you'll be sampling some of those post-game, Dave. But right now, the focus down at the 15-yard line. 2nd down for the Orange and Eric Dungey. His pass bounces near the goal line.
Yeah, good job by Jermaine Pratt there. He's the backer that it kind of cuts off that inside route. Number 3 did a really nice job there. he rotates in. They do a nice job of rotating guys up front. Alston, the corners, had an outstanding day as well, as you just saw on the screen. But you can't disregard Dungy here running the football. If you can spread the defense out. Phillips is down here at the bottom. He's the guy that's hurt him.
Dungy to the end zone. Too tall for Ishmael.
Yeah, he threw it out of bounds, too. I think he's trying to protect the ball there. Trying to throw the jump ball.
Dave, there's a flag on the field also.
Trying to throw that jump ball to Ishmael in the corner.
Dino Babers eagerly awaiting.
Well, it's on Syracuse because they're talking to Dave Dorn about it.
Gary Patterson, our referee.
Ineligible downfield. Number 71 offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So 4th down for the Orange. Ball spotted at the 15.
Tight package here, too. Not spread out this time.
Again, 3 for 4 on 4th down. They're going to throw it towards the end zone. Phillips threw the football. There was contact in the end zone. Ishmael was back there as well.
Just trying to tee Ishmael up one-on-one.
Looks like Pierce was also there, Dave.
Looked like Butler throwing the ball. And wow. One play, trying to tee up one of your best players.
So Syracuse trying to go for it on 4th down, unsuccessful. The Pack has the ball when we come back. Tickets to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Championship on sale now. Purchase a 4-pack. Receive 4 ACC hats. Reserve your 4-pack today. Also, enter to win a luxury suite for 10 at the ACC.com/SuiteLife. Now that's the way to watch the ACC Championship game.
That's a great weekend. Best championship game in the country.
We're going to get a rematch of last year's championship game tonight in Blacksburg. Clemson and Virginia Tech. They'll go head-to-head this evening. Trying to decide the issue here at Carter-Finley Stadium. 33-17. 7-13 and rolling for the Orange and the Pack. NC State with the football. 232 yards of rushing offense today against just 59 for the Orange.
Big package in the game. They're going to want to run the football. Finley negotiating the clock.
Let's go, Jay.
Samuels turning the corner at the 25. And he's shoved out of bounds by Rodney Williams after a 14-yard gain. Here's a look at our Toyota game summary. For summaries of other ACC games, visit the Toyota Game Center on the ACC.com.
Now, Phillips has been outstanding, as has Naheem Hines. See, that average yards on 3rd down is staggering for Syracuse. And the scoring in the first half, as opposed to the second half for NC State, really been limited by the Syracuse defense. And a flag on the play, Tom. So that run that was by Samuels for a 1st down is called back, and now 2nd and long for NC State inside their own 10.
6.5 minutes to go. Gillespie. Brandon Berry the tackle, 97 and white, 4-yard gain.
Timeout by Dino. Dino Babers going to start his timeouts now. You start.
Timeout by the Orange. We're coming right back to Raleigh. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
Ryan Finley has done an excellent job of taking care of the ball. Did a good job of finding those little holes in the coverage. And he's just kind of been that extra part of the run game. They've run the ball so well, they haven't had to lean on Finley, who came in averaging, the team came in averaging 315 yards in the air. They've run it so well, they haven't had to do that.
This is third down to Samuels. It's a move at the 15. It was third and long, so he's going to come up well short of the first down at the 25. 5 yards for Samuels. Devin M. Butler makes the tackle for the Orange.
Another Syracuse timeout, Tom. Try to save time. Well, Jalen Samuels certainly has been advertised as advertised. We talked about how much he affects the game when he's got the ball in his hands and all the different ways he lines up and gets the ball. We've also seen him block on the perimeter, great opportunities for other players. And then there's the part that DJ Shockley was talking about is the eyes that are on him. I mean, you hear about, as a defensive player all week long, got to take care of Jalen Phillips, or you got to take care of Jalen Samuels, that you lose track of everybody else.
Samuels 6 rushes for 63 yards and a touchdown. He's caught 5 passes for 37 yards. Ryan Finley, who came out of the gate this season, throwing for over 300 yards in both of the first 2 games this year for NC State. A loss to South Carolina, a win at home against Marshall. A.J. Cole's punt. Bounces near the 35. Riley with the return. He's got midfield and more. Riley to the 35, and then falling forward at the 33-yard line. A.J. Cole was forced to make the tackle of Riley. That's the return from Riley. The punt was 53. The return for Riley was 23.
Well, now they're going to need this guy to step up again here late in the game. Irvin Phillips has been outstanding. 15 receptions on the day, which is a Syracuse record for a game. But they have done it a lot of ways. Short, intermediate. He's done an outstanding job of providing Syracuse a ton of offense.
Broke the record of his teammate, Steve Ishmael, who tied the record with 14 catches against Middle Tennessee. How about that duo, Dave? Phillips and Ishmael. The most productive receivers as far as a duo is concerned in all of the country.
Yeah, it breaks the, also, you mentioned Ishmael had 14. Art Monk had 14 back against Navy way back in 1977. So Ishmael and Phillips are outstanding, an outstanding duo. And they're going to need to be big here. They still have an opportunity. 5:42 left. Dino Babers burned the timeouts to save time for his offense. Got a big punt return. They got an opportunity.
Those guys have combined for 20 catches, 15 from Phillips. It's another catch from Phillips down to the 25-yard line, about 2.5 yards short of a first down. We'll give him 7 on that play.
Working in a no-back set.
Dungy again. Phillips is the target. First down at the 15. Fernandez the tackle.
Yeah, just wearing them out in the slot area. NC State willing to kind of trade the short yardage play for the catch.
That's Arias Moore. Looks like he's headed back to the locker room, Dave. Defensively, the linebacker and a senior for NC State. Dungy looking right. Throws near the 10. Complete. And wrestled to the turf. That is Dante Strickland, 5 yards.
You got to stay in this turbo mode if you're Syracuse. NC State trying to get new players on the field.
Second down. Dungy's pass behind the defender, looking for Riley.
It actually hits Boone in the back. NC State linebacker hits him right in the back, or the dime back. Got the clock stopped for him, though. Clock was moving.
3rd and 5 for the Orange from the 10 of NC State. Dungy's pass to the end zone. Ishmael tries to go and get it. And he does! A touchdown for the Orange. Steve Ishmael. It's a 10-yard TD toss.
Just one-on-one on the outside. Ishmael working against McLeod, the corner. And all Dungy does is throw it to his big-time receiver and say, here you go, big fella, make a play for me. He gets inside McLeod and squeezes it for the touchdown. Had a tough first half, but boy, has Steve Ishmael stepped up here in the second half.
Dungy's first TD pass, Dave, to go along with a couple of TD runs.
Tom, I'm sure Syracuse fans are just banging their head against the wall. Ishmael had the touchdown catch in the third quarter that was wiped off because of an illegal formation after a huge play to get him down there by Ishmael. Now go for two. It's 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Need the first one. This would make it an 8-point game if they can push it in.
Second receiving TD of the season for Ishmael. Goose going for it. Trying to get 2. There goes number 2. Diving for the end zone. Eric Dungy has the conversion for Dino Babers of the Orange.
Well, he just kind of been lulled to sleep in this game, but Eric Dungy is not giving up.
Dave will be back after a word from your local ACC station. Syracuse has scored, and they get the 2-point conversion. Another second-half comeback by the Syracuse Orange. They did it last week at LSU, came up short, but look what they've done. Drawn even with NC State in total offense.
Boy, it's been a fun game, Tom, but I think you got an onside kick here if you're Dino Babers. You only have 1 timeout left. This gives you a 2-way get back. Either get it here or you try to get a defensive stop and get it back that way. If you kick it deep, there's only 1 chance.
Cole Murphy to his left. NC State covers. 47-yard line of the Orange.
Yeah, not a very good onside kick there, by the way. It was just a Sunday hop to the guy waiting on it.
Room service hop there to Cole.
All right, now it's completely cut out. He's got one, Dino's got 1 timeout left. Burned 2 the series before to get the ball back and preserve time. So now the defense, because there's 4:40 left, if the defense can get a 3 and out, you're going to get the ball back here with reasonable time, even though NC State's going to bleed some clock. But a first down is really going to hurt you.
Four minutes, 38 seconds to go in regulation. Ball on the Syracuse side of the 50. NC State seeking the 200th win in the history of Carter-Finley Stadium, a building that opened up back in 1966. Finley and his teammates can be a part of history if they can bleed this clock with 4.5 minutes to go. Foster made the tackle of Hines. No gain.
Dino's got that 1 timeout left. Keeping hold of it. Good stop there. Syracuse really loaded the box. What are you willing to do if you're NC State with your quarterback that's a senior, that's a guy that's been around? Are you willing to put the ball in his hands to potentially try to get you a first down? Jalen Samuels right up here.
Finley's got the football. Inside the 40, he dove for it at the 38.
A little short.
It is. It's a yard at least short of the first down for Ryan Finley.
He just lost kind of where the sticks were. There's 2 sets of sticks, 1 on either side. The game that lined the game. And Finley gets a really good fake there and just dove a little bit too early.
3 of 10 in the game on 3rd down. This is 3rd and short for NC State.
Going to go to Jalen Samuels at the tailback spot. This formation is where they handed the ball to Hines. Hines is here. Samuels is there.
Samuels. Very, very close. Needed the 37-yard line. And the officials want a measurement. How close is this going to be, Dave Archer? Samuels doesn't think it's going to be all that close.
Yeah, they're going to take a look.
Yep. Unofficial yellow line.
Let's take a look at. Pretty accurate with our first down line.
Samuels, number 1 in gray. Looked like he fell forward for enough, Dave. He is short. Maybe about half a football short.
All right, do you leave this in the... This is what Dave Dorn's thinking about right now. Okay, do I go for it right here, let my offense win the game for me? Or do I turn it back over to my defense that's had a tough time stopping Syracuse in the second half? I think there's a chance he leans towards his offense here and tries to come off the ball for a first down.
Coach Doran has gone for it on 4th down once this afternoon, and they got it. They are reviewing the spot. The previous play, ergo the spot as well, is under review.
Well, these are hard to see, Tom, when we've seen in the past. When you get into the pile of humanity there, really hard to make any distinction as to where the body came down. He had the knee. Where does the knee come down? Is it an elbow? Certainly looks like he kind of fell back, fell toward the line backwards. So he got spun around. Yeah, I just don't think there's anything there that gives you some kind of indication. The team fans reacting to what they're seeing on the Jumbotron here. They feel like they see something that gives them.
Ruling on the field stands. Yeah. 4th down.
That was a minute we'll never get back right there. I think we all had an idea when you run into the stack like that you're not going to be able to distinguish anything. Yeah, I think if I'm Doran, I keep my offense on the field. I go for it because I don't want to turn it back over because Syracuse really playing well on offense right now.
2:57 to go. NC State keeps the offense out there on 4th down.
Everybody in the box right here for both teams except the 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. The receiver in the corner. Ooh, Syracuse burns their timeout they had left right there. Well, everything's on the game here. Dino realizes if NC State gets a first down, game more than likely is over. A few seconds left, so he wants the proper call defensively. He's encouraging his defense. Okay, this is the stop we've been waiting for. Here's our opportunity to win the game potentially right here. And the same thing's happening in the NC State huddle, by the way. They're saying, okay, all you need to do is get the link to the football. And we probably have another W.
Syracuse has been here before, Dave, as they take on NC State. Last week against LSU, they cut the lead to 2, 28-26 with 5:40 left. Dave Doran's team trying to get this 4th and inches.
Well, what do you do now, Tom? What's the call? Are you willing to turn around and hand it to Jalen Samuels, who's 6 yards deep in the backfield, or are you willing to? Do you want to run the quarterback sneak? Samuels will be the runner. I think it's Finley on the quarterback sneak with Samuels coming into behind to push him for the first down. I would not turn around and hand the ball off to somebody in the event if there's some penetration. This has got to be Finley straight ahead.
4th and inches for the Pack. It is Finley. Again, it will be close. The initial indication and now the firm indication by the officials. First down, NC State.
And a good job by Finley to not just kind of fall on his center and expect him to get pushed. Finley actually slid to his right and was able to get some push off that side. He kind of fell. Watch him fall to his right. He's not over the center. He's going to kind of fall in there behind the guard, and that's just enough for the first down.
First down for the Pack. Syracuse out of timeouts. Samuels diving down at the 35-yard line. Valdez made the tackle 2 yards, but Eric Dungy, the orange, cannot stop the clock.
Well, once again, Tom, it looks like Syracuse with a gallant rally in the second half, much like they did a week ago against LSU, is going to come up just a little bit short. This is a Syracuse team. They put 4 quarters together, I think could probably line up and play against anybody. But they just have not been able to play the complete game. Have outplayed NC State here in the second half.
Orange trailed 26-7 at halftime. Scored on their first possession, got a TD, and changed the complexion of this game. Samuels down the sidelines. He went out of bounds. He did get a first down near the 25. Paris Bennett forcing him out. He got 10 yards and a first down for NC State.
Well, that'll do it. You needed There really wasn't much time left had they not gotten a first down, but that pretty much seals it. So give NC State credit. They had a couple of drives here in the second half, the touchdown drive, and of course certainly Jalen Samuels running the football, but he had a guy that helped him in that backfield as well. Thought there was some timely runs by Ryan Finley. But ultimately, the line of scrimmage for the most part of the game was owned by NC State.
Here's our performance of the game. It's brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Nyheim Hines, 19 carries, a career-high 115 yards, and a touchdown for Hines.
Yeah, Hines was really good, Tom. There was a combination of guys, but Hines certainly deserves that honor. He had 84 yards rushing in a big win over Florida State last week, so he's become their bell cow when it comes to running the football with a mix-in of Jalen Samuels. NC State is going to win its 4th in a row in this series and 4th in a row this season. And now it's a short week for the Pac, Dave. Thursday, they welcome Louisville. An 8 p.m. kickoff right here at Carter-Finley Stadium. Well, that'll be a fun one to watch. This front seven of NC State against the Heisman Trophy winner. That'll be a good one.
NC State losing at Louisville 54-13 last year, where Lamar Jackson had 3 touchdown passes and a rushing TD. Don't forget, next week, we've got Duke and Virginia. Our coverage starts at noon with the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks. And then our Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week on the ACC Network. The Duke Blue Devils, the Virginia Cavaliers. Please join us in Charlottesville. That's going to be the last play of the game. Dave Doran of the NC State Wolfpack win it 33-25 over Dino Babers and the Syracuse Orange, which made it a game, Dave, in the second half.
Really impressed with the way Dino's team rallied and came back.
For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, visit theACC.com. Coming up next on theACC.com, our studio crew, Katie, Tommy, Stan. More analysis of today's ACC action. Our new postgame show, Victory Formation, on theACC.com. Join us for the ACC Blitz, powered by Ram Trucks, next Saturday at noon, followed by the Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week, Duke and Virginia. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.